are here with Michael Schmidt. What's up, Mike?
What's up, Preston?
Good, man. So Michael and I met at Gold's Gym Hollywood. He's always in there training hard, and I've seen him across the gym. And the other day he came to spot me, and I was like, "Fuck, dude, I actually need to say hi to this guy. He's always in there training hard." So welcome, Michael, man.
Thanks, Preston. Good to be here.
You've lost quite a bit of weight yourself, huh?
Yeah, I have actually.
So what? Going over these questions. So give me a little bit of summary. What was it that kicked it off for you? Tell me about your story a little bit.
2016. I 13 years.
Okay.
And he was really old, like
Strong.
so yeah. So I've started just like because I eat more food and stuff and kind of bulk you up, and
right.
That kind of started. One night, it was like midnight, and we were going to McDonald's. And so like midnight was like noon for me.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and he just goes, because he saw like some of the pictures that I had from when I was younger, and he's just like, "Yo, what the fuck happened?"
Right.
And he said it just like that too, and like when your little brother says that to you, like it kind of. I don't know. It hit a spot that nobody else could quite hit, right?
I get you.
And it also kind of pissed me off because, like, he was like doing it like from this cocky thing, like, "Oh, I just did 50 push-ups. Like,
right.
What the fuck happened to you?"
Right.
And so that's where like the bug kind of started. Within a couple months of that, I was out here.
Okay.
Visiting Zach, my and I struggled to fit on rides, which has been kind of a thing that had been going on for some years. Back then, like a shitload.
Too much.
Like, oh yeah,
I'm sure as we all have.
Yeah. You get off shift, you drink, and that was kind of like the culture of the way. Apartment, and I remember I was doing Irish car bombs, and I had what I guess what people call that moment of clarity, and I looked at everyone, and I was.
Yeah, your mic turned off.
Oh, no, okay, it's good.
Clarity.
So, yeah, so I had that moment of clarity, and I turned to everybody, and I stopped drinking, and I'm gonna start hitting the gym as soon as I get back. I lived in Arizona at the time, and everyone fucking laughed at me.
Yeah,
like you're not gonna do that.
Wrong type of moment. Yeah. I get
so, we were out here the day after on Thursday,
right?
And to get my mind back into it,
okay.
Which is for anyone that's just like that's old shit. That's like, and so I was like, all right, I'm gonna follow this workout. I'm gonna follow. Just roll with it.
Yeah.
I had a gym membership, and so I went to the gym. I remember Zach's and I's, who was just making really good. My oldest friend actually. Up, and I remember I threw my guts up and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that spark was lit in you.
Yeah, it was back. Because I always loved the weight. I weightlifted since I was 12.
Yeah. Of accomplishment from lifting weights, I could definitely get that.
Yeah.
So, what was over that? But what was your heaviest weight that you reached?
420 pounds.
Jesus.
Yeah.
home skills were
home
not
skills
working,
kept
huh?
giving me the error.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember I got on. Now I'm subtracting a few pounds because of my uniform. You know, I wore steel-toed boots and stuff. 30-ish or something. So I say 420. It could have been 422, 423. Self-time.
Fair estimation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I was 305 pounds. I mean, it's not a competition. And you feel it. You carry that weight around with you, and it's just like you look at pictures of yourself, and you're like that sense of losing your identity, and then you see yourself with that clarity, and you're just like, okay, I got to do something about this.
Right.
So that's awesome that you reached that. With your brother telling you like what the fuck happened. So
when we were all drunk, and it's not like I gave him the impression of I was a guy.
Yeah.
So really kind of of that, and then like the big spark that brought.
Oh no shit! Yeah, at Iron Addicts.
They had Iron Addicts. Trained with them for a week. I trained in this home gym. I always wanted to be in California, and Zach was out here, and we went out to the beach, stuff like that, and it kind of hit us both like, why don't I just move out here?
Yeah.
And 22.
Okay.
And
how was that transition? It's hot over there,
yeah,
huh?
man.
I'm gonna make a quick suggestion. Let's just cut that microphone off because I see it keep turning on and off, so I don't want to record this whole thing. And we'll just share this microphone back. All right. So I don't know what's up with this. I apologize, guys. So go ahead and keep going.
Okay. So yeah, I got out here August 22, and I think in that entire time I've missed 2 workouts.
Okay.
And
that's pretty consistent.
Yeah, one of them was like, I want to say it was probably COVID. And the other one was a stomach bug, like where I was just like, bro, I can't do it. Like I can't even get out of bed right now.
Yeah.
But we made that. Well, we made those up. So I don't know if we really count those as missed workouts or not, but I count them as missed workouts. Yeah.
You weren't in the gym.
So I wasn't in the gym. I wasn't fucking happy about it.
Definitely. So next question is, what were your initial thoughts or fears when starting your journey?
You know, I didn't think I could do it. Like, that is a hole that's so gapingly fucking big. Right. Because like, getting to 300 pounds from that weight is an incredible kind of feat. And like, I really kind of did it in like periods over these years. Like I got down to 315, and then I come back up to about like 330, 340. I was working full time as a medic. I was operations supervisor in Maricopa County, so we had 72 trucks. Yeah, we had at peak we'd have 72 trucks on the field and stuff, and it was just it was stressful work, and I'm an emotional eater, as I figured out over time. And so like, there was that period where I lost weight, but then I started getting real big into basically powerlifting. I built a home gym. I had a house in Arizona. Built home gym, all rogue equipment and stuff. Yeah, it was awesome. And I followed if you're familiar with it, by Jim Wendler. It's a 5-3-1.
Okay.
It's a powerlifting program, basically.
Leading up to your 1 rep max.
Yeah, okay. And I followed that for 3 years. I took myself, I squatted. I think my best squat in high school was like 420. or something like that. I'd been squatting 400 pounds since I was 15.
Okay.
And so first I was like, well, I want to do that again, but I always wanted to squat 600 pounds.
Okay.
And so I did that.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Congrats,
it was all the goal was to lift all the weight that I had to put on the bar, which ended up being 602.5 pounds.
Yeah, dude, that's an accomplishment.
And I did that after a 14-hour shift too.
How much did you weigh at that point?
I was about 340 pounds, so like
that's about 2 times.
Yeah, but I wasn't, I wasn't proud of it because of my weight.
Okay.
Like yeah, it was cool and like it's big, but like I never wanted to be like the super heavyweight power lifter. Like no offense to super heavyweight power lifters, but that's not what I wanted.
Right. You had that like strong man.
Yeah.
I get you.
And so, but yeah, but I did do that, and that was something that I.
That's quite an accomplishment, man.
And then I trained overhead press, I trained bench, trained the deadlift as well. All those, I think. Squat was like the best accomplishment. My bench was always on a weaker side. I only like topped out at like 355. Yeah, but my training partner that I had could always do 420 pounds. Like he's my buddy Bryant in Arizona. He's a fucking monster.
Right.
And like so when we always train together, it's like, yeah, I accomplished this and I'm proud of myself, but Bryant's repping it and I'm pissed off.
I get that.
Yeah.
So I mean, would you make that agreement then that like comparison is a thief of joy? Because you're telling me those numbers, and that's like double or triple more than what I've ever done personally, and I'm just like, fuck, I'd like to do that one day, but like in reps, you know what I mean? Because I'm training more for bodybuilding. But would you make that agreement that comparison is a thief of joy? Because I'm like, those are pretty impressive numbers.
I would 100% that comparison is the thief. 100% say that comparison is the thief of joy, because I specifically remember getting on Instagram about 5 minutes after I did that, and Larry Wheels had done 645 for like 10 reps, and I was like, why the fuck am I even trying? I'm like, the dude's built like a fucking shit brick house. I mean, and
dude is bleeding.
I get that, but like in comparison's the thief of joy, and that's the thing that I've had to grow wisdom from, right? And grow up from,
right?
And I feel like I have a lot, because I don't really give a shit what anybody does anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just looking out for me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Overall health type of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I see you in the gym, dude. You're over, like you said today, you're squatting 315 or 365 for 10.
365 for 12 today.
What the fuck, bro?
And to be clear, that's parallel ass to grass, because I don't fucking play around.
Yeah.
Like if my training partner's even an inch off, he gets a slap on the back.
That didn't count.
Yeah, well, the slap is just to say, hey, I saw that shit. Yeah. Like,
don't half-ass that shit.
Yeah. The next one better be good.
Yeah. All right. So next question then is, how did you decide where to begin? Was it diet, exercise, or was it something else that you decided?
I kind of, I just knew I had to start.
Yeah.
And so there was so much failing forward, because I hadn't learned about macros. I mean, I was aware, right? But I really was doing like the Body for Life thing, and which was everything was like, a fist-sized portion of protein, a fist-sized carb, which isn't, none of these things are bad advice, right?
Right. But it's not really like a deep dive into
it's not a deep dive into nutrition at all, and stuff. And I was definitely under eating.
Think so?
When I figured it out, like I was eating like 1,700 calories a day. Yeah, so like I was.
Unless you're bodybuilding prep, that's way too little.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next question is: did you try different approaches before finding out what worked for you?
Oh God, yeah. Like I fucked around with the keto thing for a minute, because that was a big craze. And I did that in high school. Yeah. We called it Atkins back then.
Yeah.
Or just low carb, and I did that too. And I'll say I did have success with it, because it comes down to calories in, calories out, and it's satisfying to eat a pound of burger patties with some bacon, right? So you're gonna fucking eat less. Pardon me, you're gonna eat less. You're gonna eat less food.
Yeah.
So I messed with that. Then I went like hard on the carnivore diet thing with Dr. Sean Baker and the Bell Brothers were
high
on
fibers,
that.
carbs, high fat, meat.
Oh, no carbs.
Oh, no carbs.
Like
no veggies at all.
No, with them, they was like no veggies. Veggies are bad. And
no shit.
Yeah, so I ate ribeye and eggs for 42 days.
What did you do for fiber? Just no fiber?
I didn't eat fiber. Yeah.
How's the digestion with that? I have to ask.
At first it was rough.
Yeah.
But pretty much everyone when I've read about it, they say that they adjusted to it, and I adjusted to it.
Okay.
Within, I'd say probably 15 days, my bowel movements had moved into like a normal adjacent.
Yeah. To what you should be. Kind of
yeah,
thing.
but like you'd also go way less because you don't have all the you don't have fiber, you don't have carbs and everything in there. It's not something that I would tell anybody to do now.
I don't see that as being too sustainable.
No. Like, when I was doing it, you get into this weird mindset. Like, it's the same. Any keto diet I've been on, you get into where you're burning ketones and stuff. Like, it does feel good once you get it adjusted to it. But I remember what got me off of it is I had one piece of chocolate on Easter, and like it was like my brain went crazy, and I was like and I couldn't even stomach the smell of steak after that.
That sugar rush hit you.
Yeah.
Just like, oh.
Well, yeah, because your brain goes like, "Yo, that's blood sugar. That's what I want."
We needed this.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get you. So I mean, I've tried those fat diets.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I was like carbs. Like I struggled with my weight for quite a bit too. Like before I met her, I was, when I was 17, I started training a little bit. I had a home gym when I was a teenager. And it was nothing crazy. It was just a bench press. It had a preacher curl. I had an easy bar, just little shit. And I would just go in there and do overhead press, bench press, leg extension, shit like that.
Everything you could do with it.
Right. And I kind of got into like basic macro counting. I had Lose It on my phone. This was like 2010.
Okay.
So I had Lose It on my phone, and I was just basically going off like old bodybuilding videos.
Yeah.
Carbs are bad. Only eat carbs if you're going to work out. And then the rest of the day, no carbs, a lot of protein, And I was just doing that for a long time, and I did okay. And then I got my first job, and I started making excuses, and went from 200 pounds to 305 pounds. And then I'm just like, I started talking to people, and I'm like, what works for you? I did keto. I did, anything. I started counting my calories again, and nothing ever really stuck until, like what you said, you have to find something that works for you, that's sustainable long term.
Yeah.
So if you find a diet, and like you said, calories in, calories out, like I just made a video of protein pizza, man.
Yeah.
So like, I'm sure you have a bunch of recipes too. We were talking the other day. You said you had the Ninja Creamy recipes.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff nowadays where you can just make a diet work for you. I think a lot of people get afraid of, I have to eat this type of food. You just make whatever you like, but just look at the calories.
Yeah.
Look at the macros. You know what I mean? And I think you're a testament of that, dude, because you've lost over 150 pounds. Dude. You look incredible, man.
I appreciate that.
So I'm sure we'll put up some pictures on this video so people can see like the progress, dude. Because like I saw your picture and I was like, fuck, that's not him. That's not him, bro.
I look at some of the, and I got a lot of pictures. Like I keep, there's like that one that I throw up on Instagram, and that one I throw up because Zach took that picture.
Okay.
In my garage with me.
Yeah.
When we were roommates.
Okay.
And that was just like, that was the worst. Like that year was where I was at my worst, and I was drinking all the time, and I look back at what I was eating, and it's like, my God,
what the fuck?
I mean, he was easily putting down 8,000 to 9,000 calories a day.
Yeah. I've had those moments too where I look back on that, dude, and I'm just like, being with the knowledge that I have now, I'd look back and be like, dude, I had a fucking 7,000 calorie dinner.
Yeah.
Let alone the rest of the shit that I had throughout the day.
Yeah, and then I'd be looking at and I'm like, that doesn't even include the fucking beer.
Right. And I'm just like, dude, what the fuck? And it's like, it felt like it was so easy to go down, but then you were to think about eating something like that now, and you're just like,
no, man. Like,
that's not.
If I had, and I mean, it doesn't happen often, but if I were to have like a 2,000 calorie, like we went to In-N-Out or something.
Right.
Bro, like I'd be like, all right, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
back to it.
Back to it now. Yeah.
All right. So next question then is, I guess this is kind of, we already just went over this, but were there any myths or bad advice that you encountered early on when you started your journey?
Oh, I mean, I would say I don't want to really heavily call out like the low carb people and stuff like that. because it is sustainable. There is people that that is the sustainable thing that works for them, that they live a lifestyle around it, and I'm all for that.
Right.
But it wasn't sustainable for me.
Right.
It felt, and the problem I think is that group can, just like a vegan could or anybody else, they get into this whole mindset of like, well, my way's the only way. And they get zealotry about it. Yeah. And then they'll tell, I had friends that were going bananas because I ate white bread. And I'm just like, look, man, I like it.
High glycemic food, man. If you're gonna go train right after, you're gonna get your steps in. There's nothing wrong with that.
I was just like, look, I count all my food. I everything's tracked.
Yeah.
I feel like having white bread because I like it. It's just really that simple.
And I think that's a fear that people need to get over a lot too. Like, food isn't bad for you. People demonize everything. Like, oh, you should be having brown rice over white rice. You should have wheat bread, or you should have.
Yeah, I eat white rice too.
I have 2 meals right here. Actually, you guys can't see it, but 2 meals of white rice and chicken.
There you go.
And it's like people get calories in, calories out. You need carbohydrates at the end of the day. If keto works for you,
by all means,
go for it.
By all means.
But a lot of people are not able to sustain it. I would say a good 80% of people cannot sustain keto.
I don't. And here's the other thing: I don't actually have friends that have sustained doing keto. I have friends that claim that keto is the best diet and everything else. All those friends are also over 300 plus fucking pounds.
1,000%.
So like,
the closest I've came to like sustaining keto from my experience is doing my bodybuilding prep, and that wasn't even really keto. It was about 70 grams of carbs for 3 weeks.
Okay.
So
that's just getting into your bodybuilding prep and just dying.
100%. But like, I was like, okay, dude, any little bit of carbs, I'm like, fuck, more carbs.
Yeah.
More carbs. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't see that being sustainable.
No.
And it's like, that's why you don't see people really maintain that for longer than 3 months.
No, you really don't.
Because they go and have a cheat meal and it's
more,
gone.
More power to the guys and girls that do. Like,
100%.
By all means,
100%.
Do what works for you.
So, we're kind of going off topic, but I kind of like this football conversation. So, next thing is, what role did support from family, friends, or community play in your training?
To be honest, I've really felt alone a lot.
Okay.
And that was fine.
Yeah.
Like, when I really started embracing that, because nobody was with me at 2 a.m. when I was going out into my garage to go fucking train, right? Like, nobody was there helping me prep that food. Everybody would be absolutely down for me to go eat a big fucking pizza at Nezia's or something, but nobody supported weighing my food, stuff like that, all that much. My wife did, but also she didn't. I don't think she, maybe now, but like, she just didn't get it, right? Like, because it was drastic lifestyle changing because that's what I was doing, right? Like, it wasn't a diet to me. It was about changing. It was about killing the person that I was to make a new person.
Yeah, the person that you see in your head, per se.
Yeah,
I would agree. I mean, outside of my wife, it's like, even then, like, I think when I started weighing my food, she was like, "Oh, it's getting serious,"
Yeah, yeah.
But she was always there for me. You know what I mean? It's just like, that mindset is like, okay, I need to be what I see in my head. Fuck anybody that's against that. Like, not in a bad way,
right.
But it's just like.
And people, I had friends and stuff, started celebrating and becoming more involved when I was already having success, right? Like, I'd already like, oh, Mike's lost 80 pounds and he's fucking, squatting this much, and he's been like, that's when people really started paying attention around him.
I get it.
The most dedicated person to me has been Zach. Like, I was 7 weeks into the working out, and I was doing I'm sure you know what P90X is.
Yeah. Of course. Everybody does.
So,
I think if you're in fitness.
So like, same company had another program called Body Beast.
Okay.
Led by Sagi Kalev, who was Mr. Israel like 3 times.
Okay.
and he's an IFBB pro.
Oh, sick.
And so, but they did a old school dumbbell bodybuilding bro split workout. I mean, it's badass workout.
Yeah.
And sometimes we pull up the workout sheets from it and just for old time's sake do it.
Just do it.
And so yeah, so that picture that you've seen on my Instagram, that Zach and I had started doing Body Beast at that time. So we both knew the workout.
Yeah.
And it was 7 weeks into me doing it, and I remember because Zach and I used to play video games like every night. And he's like, "So you're working out?" Yeah. He's like, "Fuck, man, I want to work out." Yeah. And so I gave him my power block. I had power blocks that went to 90.
Okay.
I gave him my power blocks and bench. I bought my own set of hex dumbbells for myself up to hundreds. Okay. And yeah, well, that was the thing, was just investing in myself.
Right.
And I gave him the DVDs, and they had just came out with their streaming service.
Okay.
And so I got the streaming service to stream the workouts.
Okay.
Zach had the DVDs, and we went to work.
Yeah.
And so Zach's always been there.
So how did real quick, how did you and Zach meet? So I'm assuming you said you guys games. Are you guys gaming partners?
Oh yeah, Zach. I've known. So I ran away from home when I was 17.
Okay.
I briefly lived with my aunt.
Okay.
My aunt's best friend was Zach's dad. They were both teachers.
Interesting.
And then like husband and wives became friends, and so like she became friends with Zach's mom, and then they were friends with my aunt and uncle to come over for cards.
Okay.
And so I'd play cards with them.
Oh,
and then they're like, oh, they're like, oh, they have kids and stuff. And I was just like, oh, these people I've known for like a year have kids. That's really weird.
Yeah.
And met him July 4th, 2006.
Okay.
When,
quite a while.
Yeah.
Coming up on 20 years.
Zach's 5 years younger than me.
Okay.
But I was friends with his cousin first, who's closer to my age, and then became friends with Zach's older brother, and then Zach as well. At one point, Zach was my roommate right when he turned 18. He was my roommate for almost 5 years.
Okay.
Lived with me until he moved out here when he was about 23-ish.
Okay.
And so, yeah, we've been friends since
2006.
Yeah, since he was for anybody watching, Preston knows. I mean, Zach's a tall ass dude.
Very
Zach
tall.
was not. He was the shortest fucking kid.
So he had that crazy.
Oh yeah,
huh?
I didn't see him between when he was 15 to 16.
Okay.
I'm a little bit older, right? And but I was working for his mom.
Okay.
And she's like, "Oh, Zach's gonna start working for us. He just turned 16."
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And I remember Zach likes to dress up in costumes. He's a cosplayer.
Yeah.
He kicked the door in, and he jumps through, and he goes like, "What's up, motherfucker?" And I remember just looking up at him, and I was like,
"What the fuck?"
And I'm like, he grew in like 2 feet.
Yeah.
Like he literally grew like 2, and I was like, "What the hell happened?" He's like, "I'm taller than everybody," and because his whole family's tall, they're all 6'2", and he's the tallest at like 6'3.5".
He's fucking tall.
He's a tall man. Yeah.
I didn't see him before, but he said that he was super skinny. I see him now, and he's got some muscle.
Oh yeah. Actually, it was funny because him and I looked at pictures from the week I got here.
Okay.
Not to mention like the older pictures that we were talking about, and I was just like, my God, you were so much smaller than like you are now. Yeah. And it's hard for me because I just see my little, like he's my best friend, but we're brothers.
Yeah.
Like we've lived together. We've
I was gonna say, like known him since he was a teenager.
I've known him.
That's brothers.
Yeah, like I don't ever see like I do now, but like I still don't even ever see him as like a big man or anything. I just see my little brother.
Yeah.
You know, like I was someone that I care about greatly and everything, but he gets mad about it. I'm working on it, but like it's like, but that's how I see him.
You guys have that bond. I mean, I would say like if that's how you feel, that's there's nothing wrong with that, man. You guys basically grew up together. That's your little brother.
It's just my little brother's a monster now.
He's
like yeah.
All right, so next topic then is how did you stay motivated when progress felt slow or you faced challenges overall?
Oh man, I would love to say that this journey was just like, yeah, I was here and then I lost the weight, like in a nice straight line, but it never happens that way. I really realized I dealt with a binge eating disorder, not something that I got like treatment from like an actual like therapist or anything for, but had to work through myself. Still, at times I feel like I'm working through. I call them planned binges now. Like, so I might be on a maintenance week, put some more calories on a Friday, and then I'm like, all right, I know that night I got 4,000 calories to, and I almost never hit that number. Like because I just don't eat like that anymore. Yeah. But that's how I've dealt with it. In some ways, I've also had a high habit of like always eating a little less throughout the day, so that dinner was always the fat dinner. You know, even right now I'm on a 3-pound deficit right now. Okay. I'm pushing it hard at the moment. Yeah. Which puts me at 2,700 calories. My maintenance is 4,200. Okay. And even still with that, I try to aim for like 1,000 calories, for maybe 1,100 calories if possible at the end of the day, just because
fat meal.
I like the fat meal.
I think I'm the exact opposite to you. Okay. So I like waking up and having a fat breakfast.
Okay, that's fair.
So exactly the same. Like I'll have like a 1,200 calorie breakfast.
I love a fat breakfast too. Yeah. It's just that I get so hungry as the day goes on.
That's where I'm dealing with right now. Yeah. Because like right now, essentially coming out of bodybuilding crap, I'm eating at maintenance around 3,200 calories. Okay. And I haven't really gained. Like I shot up to 220. I've been kind of like 23, like now 218. So this is kind of these last couple of weeks I've been average 220. Got it. So, but I'll have these big breakfasts, and throughout the day I'll have these 600 calorie chicken and broccoli, and then dinner is where flexible. Like I'll have protein cookies, which is just flour and protein powder and butter, or Halo Top. Okay. I fucking love Halo Top. Okay. So
Halo Top's good. Halo Top, especially you leave it on like the counter for like 5 minutes, 7 minutes. It gets a little creamier. Yeah. Stuff in there to get a little bit. Yeah, get a little bit like I dig a Halo Top.
That's kind of like my little cheat meals that are macro friendly. So I'm all about macro friendly, making sure I get enough fiber, and the rest is just like enjoy your food. Yeah. You can't sustain chicken, broccoli, and rice fucking 6 meals a day. No, you're gonna get burnt out and be like, fuck this. I'm gonna eat whatever I want. So I'm all about finding foods that work for me. Like every Thursday is a high day, so I'll have a bit more calories. It's just loading back up glycogen. So Thursday is my day with my wife to have pizza.
There you go.
So there you go. I like I said, I just made a video about it, but it's just homemade pizza is super easy to make. It's flour and water and put whatever toppings.
On that, you should try mixing flour with Greek yogurt.
Oh, that sounds good.
And that's how I make my pizza crust for.
That sounds good.
And it's higher protein.
How's the consistency?
Consistency's great. It's literally you get like this flour that's got like self-rising flour.
Okay.
Mix that with Greek yogurt. Okay. And you just mix it up and turn it in until it turns into a dough quick. Okay. And then you flatten it out and stuff. I've made stuffed crust pizzas that way.
Wow, yeah. You're making me hungry.
That's awesome. And then you get a pizza crust that's like high in protein too.
Yeah. And I'm sure that probably tastes a bit better because the Greek yogurt makes it a bit more fluffier.
Yeah, it makes it a little. You got that slight sour taste because Greek yogurt's got a little bit of that, but it only, to me, it kind of adds like a sourdough aspect to the pizza. But it's a pizza crust to me.
To be honest, like, I like Greek yogurt. I've never noticed that like people are like baking with it and like, oh, you're gonna get this. I don't taste that.
I don't. Yeah, I have 2 servings of Greek yogurt every day. Okay. Like as soon as I come home from the gym, 2 servings Greek yogurt, my creatine, orange juice, carrots. That's the smoothie I have every day.
Is there a reason for that? Or you just like it because of?
I actually got that from Stan Efferding.
Okay.
Stan Efferding. Yeah. From his vertical diet. Okay. And now him and his wife put spinach in it. I think that's fucking disgusting.
That's a bit too much.
they swear that once you get used to it, you're like addicted to it. I don't want to get used to it. So
I like spinach, but
I love spinach. I love spinach, man. I love spinach. I just don't want to drink it.
Yeah, no, that's not happening.
And so I took the spinach out, and I found that it was like I come home from the gym, exhausted. Mm-hmm. You get in your quick glycogen from the orange juice and everything. You got fiber, beta carotene, and vitamin A from your carrots.
Yeah.
And then the calcium and everything from
plus the healthy bacteria.
Yeah, and then I do that with like my vitamin pack.
Okay.
And then that way I know like my vitamin D is absorbing because I got the proper amount of calcium, and then there's potassium also in the orange juice and everything. So like it's I'm focused on the micronutrients. I'm focused on the macros of it. It's 44 grams of protein and 38 carbs, 0 fat.
Pretty fucking good.
Yeah, and it's like I live for it.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
It's always that after gym meal that you're like, oh, it's so good.
Yeah,
and like never changes.
And I think about how many cartons of Greek yogurt I've gone through, and it's got to be so fucking many. Yeah. Between that and eggs.
Yeah.
Like
Costco is our #1 supplier.
Oh, yes, it is.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's cheaper there than it is anywhere else for all the eggs and Greek yogurt that I eat.
100%.
Like I'll just go to Costco for the eggs and Greek yogurt.
Yeah, walk out of there with a whole cart full.
Yeah.
All right. So, I'm sure that you did, but this question is: did you have any moments where you wanted to quit? How did you overcome it?
So 2019.
Yeah.
Right after I squatted that big squat.
Yeah.
I kind of had like this existential crisis.
Okay.
About the whole fucking thing. Something that I've stopped doing now, but I dealt with for 6 years. Tomorrow is my day 30 of being clean from marijuana.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Not pushing sobriety on anybody else or saying that it's wrong, bad, or what. Just what was correct for me.
Yeah.
And I just started smoking, right? Probably that week, roughly.
Yeah.
And I started like, what am I doing? Like, it was really because like I noticed some knee problems. I was still heavy.
Yeah.
And then I'm squatting all this weight. I'm dealing with blood pressure issues still. And I kind of was just like, what am I doing? Yeah. And I was like, do I want to be a super heavyweight competing? Because like once you're at like the numbers that I was at, really you should only be doing that if you're trying to compete.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to compete at that weight. And so I stopped lifting for 4 months. Which is still a shock to me.
Yeah.
But because I was so powerlifting oriented, like the bodybuilding had basically died out at that time in me.
Yeah.
And I was so oriented to chasing those numbers and everything. I stopped lifting, but I started walking.
Okay.
Because I was like, I want to lose weight.
Right.
And I was working 96 hours a week at times. Some weeks 120 hours.
That's a lot.
You know, I was a medic, so I'd work sometimes 48 hours straight.
Yeah.
And
it's
then
pretty hard to
and then like
that too.
Oh yeah, like well, you know, and you're up at 2 a.m. and you got to go deal with something, and there's a jack in the box. Like it's not like I was making the right decisions at that point. Like
right.
the dieting kind of fell off even and stuff, and then my brother got sick.
Okay.
Mental health problems run in my family.
Okay.
And my brother suddenly that October ended up in the mental health hospital for about 40 days.
That's
something that was when my sister was getting married.
Okay.
And him and I were supposed to walk her down the aisle, missed her wedding. And so I started, I was like, who am I and what do I want? And I started kind of lifting again.
Yeah.
But it was so hard to convince myself to chase the numbers again at the time. And that's when, so I left being a medic. I left my whole career to take care of my brother. Because I was like, I need to be present with what's going on.
Be there with your family.
Yeah. And COVID happened.
That's a whole shit show.
And it's fucked up to say, but like I was thrilled. I was like, good. Everybody else can be as miserable as I am right now, because that's how I felt with everything that was going on. Because we're talking weeks,
yeah,
right? Within like I'm done with my career, and all of a sudden there's like a pandemic hitting. Like I'm convinced that I've been there, I'd have died.
Yeah.
Like it was killing dudes that were 30 years old, that were 340 pounds with comorbidity factors, and I was dealing with comorbidity factors. I was over 300 pounds still.
Right.
And then, you know, all the gyms are closing. And it dawned on me, I was like, because I still have my home gym.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm going to like go back to aiming this at like a bodybuilding way of life.
Right.
And I mean, I had an assault bike and stuff too. So like I started doing cardio.
Like yeah.
I was walking 5 miles a day. Yeah. And that was in Arizona heat with the fucking weighted vest on too.
That's gonna burn a whole lot more calories.
Yeah,
thermogenic factors.
Yeah, man, tell me about it. And I was listening to David Goggins at the time too, right? So like, I was specifically going out at the hottest point of the day.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, it's 1 o'clock. It's the hottest part of the day. Goggins says, do hard shit.
Stay hard, motherfucker.
So like, I was just like, no, ain't no one fucking out here doing this with me.
Right.
And then I got like into doing, I don't know if you've heard of 75 Hard.
That's David Goggins thing, right?
No, it's Andy Frisella.
Okay.
2 45-minute workouts a day. One of them had to be outside. 10 pages of reading, gallon of water, follow a diet, no cheap meals, no alcohol. 75 days.
How did that work for you?
And a progress picture every day.
Yeah,
and if you miss any of it, you have to start all over. I had to start over at day 44 because I forgot a fucking progress picture.
Well,
and but that did something for me by a lot.
Yeah.
Because everybody fucking around me told me that I should stop.
But you hold yourself accountable.
And they're like, I wouldn't start over. Like everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone. I wouldn't start over if I missed a picture. That's stupid.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but like,
that's the plan.
You know, I always think of Dorian Yates's interview with Joe Rogan because I fucking went into a notebook, wrote out what I was gonna do, and I signed my name to it.
Yeah.
And Dorian said, if you do that and you don't stick to it, you're a fucking liar to yourself. Is that who you want to be? And I was just like, it was like nothing happened. I just kept going with the same habits, except day 44 turned into day 1, and I just kept rolling with it.
I think that's an awesome self accountability. Like a lot of people need to be introspective. Be like, what is it that I want to be?
Yeah.
You know, and like you said, you fucked up on day 44, and everybody's like, "No, give up," and you just prove to yourself who the fuck you are, man.
And that's what it was about for me too, because it was because I did go on to complete it.
Yeah.
Right, and that made me feel strong.
Yeah.
And then not only that, but you know, the way that Faith deemed it, I finished the last day going on my the day before my birthday, like going.
Yeah.
So like I was like, wow, the way that this ended up working out is like I get to celebrate my birthday, after completing something and after failing in the middle of it too. Like that was such a powerful thing for me.
I think that's a sign from the universe, right?
Oh
there.
yeah,
you did the right move.
Yeah.
All right, so real quick,
just make sure that the microphone is on still. Okay, cool. I didn't want to make
it. Yeah.
If you see it cut off, the green light on the microphone. Thank you. Sorry, guys, I don't want the audio to be all fucked up. So you kind of already outlined this, but how did your mindset evolve as you started seeing results?
Oh man.
Did it like fire you up more? Because I know that once I used to train at Planet Fitness,
right?
And the moment I would always go in the bathroom afterwards and go flex and look at myself, and the moment I saw my abs, dude, I went back to the car and I started crying.
Oh, I bet you did. I bet you did.
Yeah, I was like, dude, what the fuck? That's me. You know what I mean? And I had
Right.
the picture and I was showing everybody. I was like, look. Nobody gave a fuck as much as I did, of course.
Right.
But you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
Like, was there like, okay, I haven't seen this muscle before. I can flex my chest. I can see my depth. Was there a moment that you were just like, dude, fuck, yes?
It probably took all the way to being like out here in super recent months.
Okay.
Because mindset was hard.
Yeah.
Right? Body dysmorphia is real. And it's
1000%.
like the weight that I was at.
Yeah.
it was such a success for me when I finally got the 299 pounds, right? Like that was 121 pounds that I had lost.
Yeah.
I still was 299 fucking pounds. And so like it still felt like shit.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, it's still like that's something I still deal with.
Yeah.
Right? Like I don't feel successful yet. Like I know the successes that I've had.
Right.
But it's not where I want to be yet. And so like it's still something that I deal with. But so like I've plateaued multiple times at about 275.
Okay.
And then jump up another 15 pounds again and stuff. A lot of that had to do with the amount of weed I was smoking, because it's hard to diet. Like you think you're dieting, but you're not. Yeah. Right? Like, there's an extra 1,000. It's real easy for an extra 1,000 calories to sneak into your diet if you're not. You're like, oh, this handful of this handful of that. And I got some big ass hands, so right. Like the handful of serving. Yeah. Or what was the meme I saw recently? It's just like serving size of chips is 12 chips, and it's like, motherfucker, I eat 12 chips while I'm holding the bag, deciding if I want to eat chips.
Right. It's like, oh, there it is. I mean, even still, bro, to be honest, I'm still guilty of that. Like before I came right now, I had a handful of cereal.
Yeah.
I was like, my meal didn't do it, dude. I need a little bit more carbs.
Yeah, I feel
you. Know what I mean? And it's like, I will allot for like 100 to 200 calories over. So like, if I have little munches here and there, it's cool. But again, like I hear you, bro. It's like I've even come down from where I was, and I'm just like, I don't see myself. More work to be doing. I think it's that like internal drive where you know what you can do.
Yeah.
You know your potential is there, and you're just like, no, I need to fucking prove it to myself.
Right.
Fuck everybody else. It'd be great if they saw it, but fuck everybody else. I need to prove it to myself.
And that's what it is at this point, right?
Yeah.
Like it really is about proving it to this guy, because this is the only person I'm competing with now.
Yeah.
Like
who you were yesterday and compared to who you are today.
But probably I'd say in the most recent months, because especially now where I'm really, each day is kind of like I told you I weighed 263 this morning.
Yeah.
Which that's my lightest weight since I was 19 years old.
That's an all-time low, huh?
Like, yeah.
That's awesome.
And so like, and I could see my delt splits. I could see, I struggled with my biceps for so long. I trained with CT Fletcher. I remember talking to him. I was just like, Pops, like I don't know what the fuck to do with these things, because I feel like nothing I do makes them grow.
Yeah.
And I remember him being like, "Oh motherfucker, we're gonna make them grow today."
Yeah. 200 reps.
He's like, he's like, I'm throwing so many fucking reps at you, they're gonna have no choice but to grow.
Yeah.
And one of the things I had to learn, which was probably in the last 3 months, I was standing at the gym looking in the mirror, and I was just like, man, why does it look like I have orangutan arms? Right. Like, I was kind of noticing, seeing everyone else around. I was just like, my arms seem so much longer than everybody else's. And then, so I went home and measured my boxing reach, and I was like, oh, I have a 75-inch reach.
Yeah.
I was like, I have obnoxiously long arms.
Yeah.
So I pulled out Encyclopedia of Modern Bodybuilding, Arnold's book, and I was just like, let's see what Arnold has to say about this. And he has a part in the arms chapter about dudes with long head biceps.
Yeah.
And I did everything that he said.
Yeah.
And I know people would be like, is there so many people that like hate like that he trained too much, and
I think if it worked for you, it worked for
and so I copied everything that he said about that, and just started applying it to our training, and within a month I was like, oh,
start noticing
there's my biceps.
Do you get those new muscle growth stretch marks yet?
Oh, I've dealt with that since I was a teenager, because I was bodybuilding when I was 17 years old and stuff, and I have it real bad on my back.
Okay.
I'd say the first 3 months that I was out here, because we really focused on our back, because it's a hard one to train in a home gym. Even I had cable machines, so I could do like lat pull downs, and just the lat pull down helped add thickness at that time. And I've done the bent over rows. I've done
bent over rows,
but like I wasn't getting that activation right. And the first 3 months that I was here, I was in pain, soreness pain, but serious soreness the entire time in my back.
Yeah.
And it grew so much. And I see them all the time when if I look at them in a flex, there's stretch marks coming down the lats. There's stretch marks coming on the rear delts. There's I got them on my biceps too.
That's how you know you're
Yeah.
growing, man.
Yeah.
I would say like coming from us big men, we used to see stretch marks like
yeah.
and then you see them now and you're like, oh, okay, good.
Yeah,
my muscles
hell
are
yeah,
growing.
yeah.
Yeah, let's go get more.
Yeah.
So I think that's like the positive side because I think we all have a bit of body dysmorphia. Whether you go to the gym, whether you're not, whether you just focus on marathon running.
Chris Bumstead has body dysmorphia. You watch him in his videos and stuff where he's just like skinny bitch and stuff. Like he feels that about himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's and you know what? I remember watching a video with him doing that, and it helped.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, okay, like I love this guy. This guy's the best in the world, and he's dealing with the same shit that the rest of us are dealing with. Like it's just our human experience.
I think the biggest thing that changed for me too as well, like you're kind of outlining that, is just stop putting people on a pedestal.
Yeah.
Everybody's a fucking human. And
yeah.
Like if you're gonna go through this dude is a 6-time Olympia champion, and if you're gonna go through the same problems as him, what's the difference?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I think that we all have battles with ourselves, and the battle that matters is the battle with yourself. As long as you win that every day, nobody's above you. You're the same as Chris Bumstead. Chris Bumstead's the same as you.
We all piss and shit.
Yeah, 100%. All right. So the next thing is, this is kind of going to go over a little bit of nutrition and training. Is what changes did you make to your eating habits? And you already outlined this. Any specific diet that you followed after all those fad diets, is there something you just started tracking your nutrition?
Yeah, so I track my macros.
Okay.
I use an app for it. I use Carbon Diet Coach, which is by Dr. Lane Norton and his team.
Okay, I heard of that.
Yeah, and it's a very data heavy and data driven app. So I weigh in every day.
Okay.
Put it into the app. Just don't think I just do my morning bathroom and weigh in whatever it is, and it tracks your your true weight based off of like the trends throughout the week. Like, are you trending down and everything?
So it's more of like a weekly.
Yeah, and
like
so
you check in every day, but
I check in every day. It does weekly trends, and then it will adjust your food based if it needs to be adjusted, based on whatever goal that you have set within the app.
That's pretty good.
The app does maintenance. The app does you're good cutting. It does reverse dieting, bulking, and then the more you put the data in, and the more it knows you and your body, and it gets you. I've used it for a minute now, and it gets you very precise. Like I told you, I'm on the 3-pound deficit. I changed it to the 3-pound. It knew exactly where to put me to achieve that 3-pound weight loss.
Okay.
And
so that's like 3 pounds per week, 3 pounds per month.
3 pounds per week right now.
Yeah, that's rough.
Okay, it's only until mid-December. Like it's not for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean it's a 6-week push on that, but that's just me trying to I wanted to push the plateau.
Yeah.
Right? Like I got sick of 275 again, almost to the point, excuse me, that it was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Right? Because for me. And so I really was just like, nah, I got to push. I really want to achieve 255 by the end of the year, because it just seemed so impossible. It seemed like such an impossible number for me to get at one point. And I don't want like that holiday weight gain.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So having a goal that I'm pushing towards is something that I'm enjoying. I'm hungry.
I hear that.
I am, but I'm also eating 2,700 calories a day. I can't be that hungry, right? But I'm hungry.
Yeah. I would say that, dude. I mean, especially for like guys that are us, we're a bit bigger. Dude. We carry a lot more muscle mass, so to sustain that muscle mass, you're gonna have to be hungry.
Yeah.
Lose that weight. You know what I mean?
And then, I always take hungry as like the good sign, right? Like it's like I'm 3 weeks in. This is week 3 of this deficit.
Okay.
And like I've really felt the hunger the last few days, but also like the changes are happening.
Have you implemented any like strategies to help curb that hunger, like a lot more shredded lettuce or diet sodas or anything like
Oh
that?
yeah, I drink diet sodas.
Yeah.
Energy drinks.
Okay.
Energy drinks have kind of filled the void
Okay.
of weed.
Fair enough.
Like it's my one little
That's your little drug.
it's my
man.
one little drug that I have.
I don't know if when I pulled up, it's the same thing. Like that caffeine addiction.
Yeah.
Bro, it's there.
It's
man.
oh yeah yeah. So the other day I was like, I'm only gonna have one, and that was a miserable day. Like I was like, no, I'm still working my way through this weed thing. I'm just gonna do what I do with it.
Yeah.
And diet soda is something that I've definitely implemented.
Yeah.
Maybe at some point, maybe a little too much. I mean, they say that it's fine and stuff, but it was a little bit too much diet soda at one point. So that's what I have right now. I have a diet generic cherry cola. It's delicious.
I actually, I'll show you guys. Zero sugar Pepsi.
There you go. There you go.
You know, like I would say, as long as it doesn't come down to where it affects your digestion, dude, drink as much as you want.
And so, like something I'll say on that, like we have a recent meta-analysis study on diet soda and long-term weight loss, and it showed in that study that people that consume diet soda were much more successful in long-term weight loss and weight loss maintenance.
Right.
And also for the zealots out there that are going to get into how it breaks down, the actual biochemistry of it is that the aspartame is going to break down into D-aspartic acid, and I forget the other molecule, but then it turns into water from there. If you follow the biochemical bonds, that's how it goes. So don't say your dumb shit to me, because I'm not going to listen.
Yeah, I think all those like 0-calorie sweeteners, dude.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, as long as it doesn't affect your digestion, like I know if you have a lot of sugar, alcohols, or something like that,
Yeah.
you're gonna start shitting a lot. You're gonna have diarrhea.
Yeah.
There's no, you know, you have to get used to it. But I would say, as long as it doesn't affect your digestion, you don't get high blood pressure, you don't get headaches. Have as much as you want.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to enjoy your diet.
Well, you know, from the dieting perspective, we don't get that many one-to-one direct swaps.
Right.
Right. Like a Coke Zero to me is just a Coke.
Yeah.
And so it feels really nice to have a Coke, and with my healthy burger that I made, it's like, yeah, I went to McDonald's with my my healthy burger and my Coke Zero.
The other day, like I got off of work, burger so bad. So we went to the store, I got some fucking 99% lean turkey, some sweet potatoes. I chopped it up, burger and fries, and I had a Coke.
Yeah.
Zero sugar. You know what I mean?
It's fantastic.
It was like, boom, there goes my craving. And I think the big craving was that I just wanted ketchup.
Dude, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like
that. You know what? That's my secret right there. I've been, since I was a little kid, I love ketchup on everything.
I'm the same way, dude.
So I have kept my ketchup habit.
Yeah.
I never track I know I'm well aware of the calories that are in ketchup. I never track it, and my thought process is my app will figure out where to put my numbers to account for however much ketchup I use on shit. But it's completely worked for me.
Yeah.
I never care how much I put on it, because it keeps me sane to my diet.
100%. It's like I'm saying, dude. Like I have Walden Farms Ranch in there to put on my chicken.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
and so I'll do like that, like those look, but with ketchup, no, I still get my Heinz ketchup.
I was gonna ask you, do you get the organic one? Do you get the 15-calorie one? You get
No,
the 50-calorie
no,
one?
I don't. I get the Heinz, the Simply Heinz, because it's a little sweeter.
Yeah.
And I think it doesn't have high fructose corn, so I don't really care if it does or not. It's just I like the Heinz Simply, and I like the ketchup.
Yeah.
And it's my my energy drinks. Those are my little happy places.
I'm right there with you, man. Ketchup, I think, like I said, you have to enjoy your food, and if you're gonna put an extra 100 calories of ketchup on your food, I don't think that's gonna be a huge detriment to your weight loss.
You know, my standard McDonald's order.
Yeah.
And I heard Kevin James talking about his on Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
My standard order was like 20-piece nugget,
okay,
2 apple pies,
okay,
large Coke,
okay,
2 large fries, double quarter pounder with cheese, and triple cheeseburger.
Yeah.
That's
the standard.
That was just what you know what? If you and I went to McDonald's right now, I'd still probably I'd be like, well, if we're going to McDonald's, I'm going to do it.
Get that order, yeah.
Yeah. And that was how I started my day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I worked nights, and so like McDonald's was open for
24 hours.
Yeah, and it was open it would be dinner time at that point, and that's how I started my day.
Did you notice, like, especially starting your diet now, have you noticed the biggest changes of energy from not eating that type of food?
Oh, yeah.
Like the mental clarity, you don't crave, you don't really have, like, you have cravings for sure, but like you don't have those, like, I need this.
My cravings now are, I have two places that I go out to eat that are right next to my apartment. One of them's Waba Grill.
Okay, Waba Grill is delicious.
And I'll get sometimes double or triple meat. I always get double meat. Sometimes I get triple meat.
Yeah.
And I, steak. It's for everyone listening. It's a teriyaki bowl. It's steak, chicken, grilled steak, grilled chicken, on white rice.
Yeah. I think they have the option to put veggies in there too, right?
Yeah. And so I eat that. I'll crave that, or I'll crave. There's a Greek food place.
Okay.
Where I get a gyro bowl without like a pita or anything. It's basically a salad.
Okay.
A gyro salad, and I'll double meat that too. They have the macros figured out as close as I think that they are, and based off of how my weight loss works and stuff, the way I track it, and I've looked pretty in depth into like the nutrition that they have on their website and in the store. I think I got it right. Yeah. Pretty close to.
Yeah. So as long as you're
within that range of it and stuff. I really love those gyro bowls. That's the thing that I'll crave the most. I live right next to I live right next to an In-N-Out burger, the In-N-Out Hollywood. Oh man, dude, and I'm sure it's the same for you. But I love In-N-Out.
In-N-Out is probably one of the healthiest fast foods in my opinion, and I do crave that sometimes. And I'm just like,
but it's not healthy when you go get 2 3x3s animal style and maybe 2 animal fries, right? Like, I could put down I think that comes out to like 2,600 calories.
It's mainly from the fries, but yeah.
Yeah, well, but the animal fries, man, they're so good.
Fucking delicious.
Yeah.
Like after my show, I was like, I'm gonna have 2 days of this. I'm gonna do whatever I want. So like, I came out of the show. I went to Hawaiian barbecue.
Oh, dude, I love that place so much.
I got 2 barbecue platters. I went to Krispy Kreme. I ate a dozen donuts. Dude, I just binge ate the day after I had In-N-Out, and I was just like, yeah.
How much was your weight rebound?
I gained 17 pounds in 2 days.
That's not that bad.
It's not.
I've had tons of friends that have competed.
Yeah.
And I remember my one buddy when he was 19. He competed at local show in Arizona.
Okay.
And he put 35 pounds on like overnight. But he's a heavy water retainer.
Yeah.
That would be me.
It was the same thing. Like it's a lot of like it's. I would say I did okay, and like everybody, especially if you're gonna compete, dude. At some point, you're gonna rebound.
Yeah.
You're gonna come out and be like, "Oh, let me just eat whatever I want."
Yeah.
And it was like halfway through that second day, I was like, "I don't want to fucking do this, bro."
Yeah. You're like, I can't keep doing this.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And like that night, I ended up just saying, "Fuck it, I'm gonna have a steak and rice," and that's what I did.
Good for you.
So it was just like. I was like, no, this is not the move, man. It's not the move like that. Like, I felt like I ate a pound of salt. I felt like my blood pressure would skyrocket. You know what I mean?
That's the thing I feel like I notice the most now if I were to do something like a fast food thing, like a real fast food thing. Like, you can tell the salt that you have. Like, not to say that I don't have salt, because I do have plenty of salt with my diet, but like, I definitely can tell when I have like something like that, because like you said, you get thirsty and all of a sudden you drink like, for me, I could drink upwards to like another half gallon of water than I normally drink.
Right.
And then that's just all in me when I step on the scale the next morning.
And especially if you're like all the way cheating, you get fast food and you're like, oh, thirsty. You got a soda. Dude.
Oh yeah.
That's
one thing. That's one thing I still always do is I still stick to a diet soda even when I cheat.
Yes.
And I think I do that because like I'm like I don't need that. I don't need that real soda to make me think that my diet soda sucks.
Yeah, right. Yeah, dude. Those cheat days, it just makes you realize like, fuck, I feel like shit. How did I do this?
You know what I mean? Like, how is this how I live?
How did I live my life every day only eating this food? What the fuck,
Because it's food. But it's not food.
It's like 40% food.
Yeah, it's like 40% food and 60% delicious.
Yeah, right. All right, so we kind of just went over this. How did you manage your cravings and emotional eating? So I'll kind of skip towards the end of this. Do you remember your first workout or your first milestone that you achieved as part of the gym?
I remember hitting the big one for me. I always wanted, so in high school, like I mentioned, I squatted like 400, it was 420, I think. I broke a couple records just at high school in my school.
Right.
I did 405, I did 420 a couple times. Probably really shitty reps of a 16-year-old. And I really wanted that back for me because I hated being that. And we all know those guys. They'll be like, "Oh, when I was, back in the day, I used to bench 315, or I used to do it." Like, I hated being like, "Oh, I used to do this," and I was like, "I really want that again." But I really wanted 500 pounds on the squat.
Yeah.
And so I did the 531 training, and I hadn't even squatted 400 pounds yet. But the way that the training works, you do these AMRAP sets on your top set every week, and then your percentages change. You try to do an AMRAP, and you're doing rep PRs to kind of get like an idea of where your 1 rep max is. And so in training, I had done 395 for 10 at that time, but I'd still never put the 400 on the bar yet. Right. But you know that you can do the 400. And so I decided to test it, and I did 400, which I knew I was going to do. And I'm like, well, let's try 440.
Yeah.
Did it, and I was like,
fuck yeah.
Let's try the 500.
Yeah.
And I did it.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's awesome.
And it, all of a sudden, it started to feel really real.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I started finding my value in 2.5 pound plates. I found the man that I lost in those small micro gains.
Yeah.
It'd been months of training at that point because I'd gone through 5x5, like true 5x5 training.
Okay.
With like AB workouts, squatting every day, 5x5, increasing by 5 pounds every day, every training day for it. And I did that till I got up to like a 345 pound squat on 5x5.
That's pretty good.
And I was doing all this shit like, because like raw was such a bit like raw lifting was really kind of pushing into a thing at that time.
Yeah.
So I would do it in my underwear because I was my home gym, no belt,
dude, fuck yeah.
No sleeves.
Yeah.
And I was just like, and I remember because I would train with my little brother at that time, and I was just like, that's fucking raw lifting. like,
I think there's that video of Juji Wufu out
there.
Yeah. Crazy bicep curl, and he just gets up and he's butt.
Yeah, and he's like raw lifting.
No, that's awesome, man. I think that's like an ideal setup for someone that's just like, I'm gonna lift in my underwear today.
Oh, dude, I genuinely miss that about a home gym.
Yeah.
Like where I also miss like I can't do it in a real gym, but I got into, and it was dealing with like my own mental health problems from being a medic and the family stuff and everything. I'd accomplish a big lift and I would scream rah rah. I would always like I had like motivational video. I'd have Tom Platz on a YouTube video on the TV that I put in my home gym.
Yeah.
I had this 42-inch TV in there and stuff. Tom Platz is screaming at me.
Yeah.
And then I'd scream after like a squat and stuff. Like I do miss
doing
that. Yeah, I do. Like, because it was, it's just, I think there's something to it. Like there's in martial arts, like they, that where they call it the ki or whatever, where you hit somebody.
Yeah.
Like it's the same with lifting.
I think there's like an energy behind it. Like
yeah.
You're saying, man. Like when I moved to Hollywood, I trained at this small gym, and like I would just go late at night, it was 24 hours, and they'll be in there. So I would just set up, put my music on, like loud as fuck, because I could connect to the speaker, and dude, I would just scream.
Yeah,
I would just fucking scream.
Well, I grew up watching Ronnie Coleman videos, right?
Same.
Fucking doing 800 solid ass pounds.
Pounds.
I mean. And that's still on my bucket list. Like I will do. I understand that he's the king of bodybuilding and everything else. I will still do that for more reps than that man did. That is still on my plans in my life.
I hope to see that, bro. I want to see that at Gold.
Yeah, like I'll do it. It'll be 4. It'll be 4 reps. Yeah. We'll call it good.
Yeah.
And I don't need to go any higher on the squat.
I was actually doing leg press the other day at the Gold's Gym in Hollywood. This is definitely off track, but I was there in the leg press with 4 plates in there. I'm like, wow, I feel strong today. I look over and there's this guy on the squat rack with 7 plates, and he's just squatting.
Yeah,
I was like,
some strong dudes in there.
God damn.
Yeah.
I'm not, but again, like, I have different goals. Your goals is to be fucking strong, and I love that, dude. Like, everybody loves to just get under some heavy ass weight.
Yeah.
And I think that fucking awesome.
But it's not just to be strong for me. Like, that's why I do the reps the way that I do. Right. Because it's just like, yeah, it's cool. You could do it once, and I'd want to do powerlifting competitions. So like that will be doing the 1 rep thing. It will be a part of that, obviously. But I think it's so much more badass when it's just like, nah, man, I can squat 405 for 12 reps, 15 reps. Like the person one of my biggest inspirations in the world is Tom Platz, and just look at his squat records in his lifetime. 325 pounds for 50 fucking reps.
Like, you did what, 525 for 23?
Yeah,
like that?
Yeah. And can you imagine? There was like thousands of people there when he did that. Like,
so I actually recently, it was in July this year. My buddy owns a gym in Ontario.
Okay.
And I had the chance to go meet Tom Platz there.
No way.
Yeah,
That's
bro.
amazing.
If I would have known you, I would have invited you.
I listen to Tom Platz every training day. Like, he's in my ears always. And it's funny because there's a guy at the gym, because I bought Zach Tom Platz belt as that's his weightlifting belt. It says five more reps,
yeah,
signed by Tom and everything.
Yeah.
And someone saw that and they're like, "Oh, dude, that guy's crazy." And like, it's in the middle of like heavy squat day for me and stuff, and I got like offended, and I pulled my headphone out and I was like, I'm fucking listening to him right now.
You're like, here,
yeah.
I think that, like, you have to be a little bit crazy. If you want to improve, you have to be slightly crazy.
Well, especially with the things that, like, we go pick up heavy things for fun, like recreation.
You slightly go to that dark place, and
yeah,
you're just, fuck that. I'm gonna lift that shit. You're my bitch today.
You
know what I mean? Like, not to be weird, or dude. I think you have to be slightly crazy, and I think that everybody's interpretation of what's crazy is different.
Yeah,
that's what makes us all different. You know what I mean?
And I'm genuinely trying to be the craziest.
Fuck yeah.
I'm genuinely trying to let everybody else know around me that, like, that I'm serious about everything that I'm doing.
Yeah. And you always lift, like, I see you in the gym, but you're always lifting with great form. You're always going to depth.
Oh, form is everything to me too. Like, it's not just about moving the weight and stuff. And that's something, like, and Zach and I have a thing where we have zero problem being like, you are fucking looking filthy on that. Fix it. Yeah. And improve your form. Yeah. That doesn't really happen. It's more like a, hey, I'm like, yeah, I know that rep wasn't good. I know, I felt it. Like, it looked like shit. I'm sure it looked like shit.
Yeah.
But that comes all the way from high school though. Like, I had a coach that was big on form and big on a setback and big on how to do things right. Yeah. And I've hurt myself. Yeah. Like, picking up a dumbbell.
Have you had any any serious injuries coming from the gym?
So it didn't happen in the gym, but I tore my calf.
I remember you told me.
Yeah, and this was just within 2 months of finishing the 75 hard. I genuinely feel like I would be at my weight goals right now, because I kicked the marijuana thing back then.
Yeah.
And because I was sober during the 75 hard, and then I decided that I wasn't going to do it anymore. And I was moving, and I had to move. I had a dead truck in my driveway, and I had to move it for pictures for the real estate agents.
Right.
And so I was like, I can move my fucking truck. I'm a monster. Hey, get your friends. Like,
you're out there with the weight belt.
And I was just like, I'm just gonna push it, and I'm pushing. I'm like, all right, bitch. And I dug in.
Yeah.
And because the night before, I remember very specifically, I did a 365 deadlift for like 16 reps. So I felt like very monstrous and stuff. And looking back, I felt a strain in my calf that night. It's like from that deadlift.
Further injured,
you know. And so I went to go. I pushed it, and I couldn't get it, and so I went to heave it, and all of a sudden I felt, pop, and I went down because I couldn't stand.
Couldn't put your weight on there.
And I was very fortunate because I almost had an entire tear off the Achilles tendon.
That would have been rough.
But I didn't. It was 8-week recovery.
Okay.
I started smoking again like that night. Well, because they gave me, my family has a history of addiction.
Okay.
I know that I'm an addict by nature, and they gave me Percocets.
Yeah.
And didn't really feel it. It helped with the pain in the hospital, but I remember they gave me morphine, and I felt high from that.
Yeah.
The first time I ever had morphine in my life, and I'm like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
And
it's like a warm blanket. Huh?
Yeah. And I finally, because I was retired from being a medic at that point, but I was like, oh, this is why everybody, like when I would give them morphine when they broke something, why they were like, oh, I feel great.
Yeah.
And I remember it was the second day so I came home from the hospital that night. The second day, Zach, everyone felt bad because everyone knew I tore my calf. And they're like, we're going to play video games tonight, whatever you want to play.
Right.
And Zach made the comment that night because I was just like happy, and he's like, sounds like you didn't even tear your calf at all. And I'm like, yeah, man, I love these pills. And I was just like, and as soon as I said that,
yeah,
I was like, oh, this isn't, my dad's an opiate addict.
Yeah.
And I was like, this isn't good.
Yeah.
And so I flushed them, and I was like, I don't care that they gave them to me. And I got a marijuana pen again.
Yeah.
To deal with the pain.
Yeah.
And now it's been 4 years. It was 4 years to fucking kick that habit again. And what sucks is I knew, but I was like, I would rather deal with this habit than I know how conniving that I can get, because I was going to get a hold of opiates instead. And I was like, I would rather deal with marijuana than deal with opiates in my life. Yeah. And so that was the decision that I made, and it took. And I'm still dealing with it because day 30's tomorrow, but I'm sober. I'm done for good.
Fuck yeah. So a little bit about me too.
Yeah.
Man. Like when I was younger, I was an opiate addict.
Okay.
So like I was dating this girl. Her mom was a,
and also I don't like the connotation of like, oh, you're just lazy, because I probably worked worked harder in life and had more successes than a tremendous amount of people at an early age for myself.
Right.
And not only that, if I were to work out, I still, because through those years of gaining weight, there would be periods of like, I'm trying to get there again. You weren't going to outtrain me.
Yeah.
Like that's all, like, and so I hated that like, oh, you're yeah, because it's just like, oh, you're just lazy, and like there's a lot of like people look at you different and everything, and I kind of hate it now because I've made a lot of friends, a lot of people that like me, and that they're like, oh, you got such a great personality, you're fun to be around, and this and that, and they love like the gym stuff and everything, but I wouldn't have had those people when I was heavy, and I was the same dude. To be real, I was a little happy. like when you don't have the cares and stuff, there's a little bit of extra ignorant happiness that comes with that.
Right. Do you feel like, coming off of that, like based off what you just said, do you think that you were actually happy, or do you think there was like, okay, that guy kind of just insulted me, I don't give a fuck, I'm gonna laugh about it because he's laughing?
I never laughed when somebody made fun of me or insulted me.
Okay.
I'm not that personality type whatsoever.
Okay.
That aggression I have in the gym is the same. I have that aggression in real life too. Yeah, like I control it.
Yeah. Right.
I would just move on with like, okay, fine, you're a douchebag. But there was also, I think, I knew, almost to the point that I felt like it was like fate or my destiny. I knew I was going to turn the whole thing around, and that I was going to have an extreme transformation.
Yeah.
Even while I would be eating 6 hot dogs.
I say that because like I'm a kind.
Right.
Like I always like to smile. Doesn't matter like what people are saying. I always just take it as like, oh, people are just fucking.
Yeah.
When I was fat, like I remember specifically, I used to do security.
Okay.
I eventually started my own security business. That's no longer, but that's no here or there, right? So I used to do security for marijuana dispensaries. So
Okay.
I worked with this guy. He would always just call me fat. I'm like, I was fat, for sure.
Yeah.
I was a slob, bro. You know?
Yeah.
So like, he saw the way I eat. He's like, fucking badass. Da, da, da. But he would kind of laugh. So like, I was like, okay, we're just fucking around here, and then because I'd make jokes. You're fucking twig,
Yeah.
So that's like this general comeback. So I always laugh about it. But when I started my weight loss journey, I would think about this shit. And I was like, damn, why did I stand up for that? And I used it as kind of like motivation. You know what I mean? But it's like, did that make me feel good in the moment? No, it didn't. But was he right? For sure.
Yeah, and I think that probably was something that I dealt with too, where it's just like, yeah, I mean, what am I gonna say? Like I am, like,
Yeah. You don't really have a comeback.
Yeah.
But you also don't have like in that moment in time, like, yeah, you would like to be in shape, but like you didn't. For me, I didn't have the knowledge.
Yeah.
I was just going around doing keto at that point. This was 2018. I was doing keto, thinking that I could go to fucking In-N-Out and just eat two 4x4s lettuce. And because it was lettuce wrapped,
I would do the
I'm like,
same. I did remember doing that too.
fucking keto, it's fine.
That sounds really good right now.
It does.
Like
It
like I'll
does.
wrap that shit in lettuce and we'll call it healthy if you
Yeah.
want.
Yeah, it's just protein.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's protein style, whatever.
But yeah, so like that was a big motivating factor for me when I started going to the gym. I would almost like hear that, be like, "Fat out."
Yeah.
Look at me now. Look at me now. And now, to be honest, I have him on my Instagram, and he'll comment on my stuff, or he'll message me like, "Fucking see, I want to be just as jacked as you." And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, fuck you.
Yeah,
Remember you called me fat?
Yeah. Yeah. Go fuck yourself.
But I don't mean it.
Yeah. No, I
But
know.
It's like, so like I think we're a little bit like polar opposite on that, because like you would be like, oh, this guy's a dickhead, and I just be like, oh, this guy's fucking around.
I fought a lot when I was a kid,
Yeah.
and so like even when I was a fat guy, I was just like,
So
let's go, man.
Yeah.
Like I could still punch you in the face,
Yeah,
and you're not gonna knock me over.
Right.
Like
mass moves mass.
Yeah, man.
You're
Yeah.
skinny.
Yeah, like dude, you're weigh like 155 pounds. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Thankfully, I didn't have to. I did a lot of that in my security career.
Yeah.
But I didn't do much fighting as a kid. I was homeschooled, so
Okay.
it was just me and my sister.
Yeah,
So,
I can proudly say I don't get it. I haven't gotten into fights as an adult.
Yeah.
I probably like I threw my weight around a couple times to like, but it was a defense mechanism, right?
Yeah.
Because you're right, because it probably did hurt.
Yeah.
But like, there's still part of you where it's just like, right.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, even nowadays, like, I don't know if you still deal with this. Like, I'll look at myself in the mirror, like, I will expect to look in the mirror and see that fat guy, and then I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh shit, that's me? You know what I mean? And it's like, it's those moments of clarity sometimes.
I have some moments of clarity. I still have moments where I just look in the mirror and I see a fat guy. You know?
When you have those moments, do you think it's like that motivation for you to like, okay, I'm gonna go fucking hard?
Oh yeah, no, it like it happens every like I'm just like, well, the only solution to that is to like go really hard today. Like we're gonna tear this shit up today.
We're going 10% more than yesterday rather than 1%.
Yeah,
I get you.
So that happens to me a lot.
So based off of that, I think a lot of people do it now. And I think it's especially like, for instance, on my TikTok, I try to motivate everybody.
Yeah.
So like I've been speaking to this lady in Arkansas.
Okay.
She's overweight. It is what it is, and she always reposts my stuff because she said like I always try to post motivation and stuff, and she's like, she posted something today where she's like, I have to lose 80 pounds. It's gonna be so hard, and I was like, well, you only have to lose 1 pound this week, and how many more weeks is that you're gonna have to do? You know what I mean?
And it's like it's such a shifting into the micro mindset is such a big thing.
You have to live right now.
Yeah. And
tomorrow doesn't matter. Right now, you have to have what you need.
And there's no way that you can get to week 16 of that weight loss without going through week 1.
Right.
And let's break that down even further. You got to get through day 3, day 4, and day 5. Like you have to get receipts of wins.
Right.
And when you do that, you start proving to yourself, like I said earlier, like that I found value in myself 2.5 pounds at a time on the barbell.
Right.
It's the same thing in the weight loss journey too.
Yeah. You just stay consistent, get those wins day by day.
Yeah.
again, like we've both experienced it at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So those micro wins. Stay hydrated.
Yeah.
Stay hydrated. All right. So, next question. We'll kind of skim through this. These next two questions were stuff that we just went over. I'll just say it is what's something people don't understand about extreme weight loss, and then did you ever deal with judgment, misconception, or from others either before or after losing the weight? We kind of just went over that, so we'll kind of skip ahead. So, what does a typical day look in your life look like now in terms of food, fitness, and habits?
I get up at 4 in the morning.
Okay.
I do morning bathroom, weigh myself, track my weight in my app.
Okay.
I have a 2-story apartment. I go downstairs and do my yoga, which is about an hour.
Okay.
Their workout videos. So it's called DDPY. Highly recommend anybody that if they hear this and they're curious about it, just Google DD. Same for you. DDPY Arthur.
Okay.
You'll see Arthur Borman's video, and it's like 15 years old now and stuff. But it was a veteran that walked with like 2 of the handheld canes.
Okay.
And then at the end of the video, he sprinted through a park like this. And like that's
inspirational.
And so it's a great workout. I do that in the morning, and then as soon as I'm done with that, I make my breakfast.
Okay.
Breakfast is the same. I eat the same breakfast every day. I eat 2 eggs, 2 pieces of bacon, 3 pieces of ham, a bagel.
Okay.
It's like it's like 45 grams of protein. Probably my highest fat meal of the day, bacon and eggs. But I love bacon and eggs, and then it's pre-workout, and I head to Zach's to pick him up, and I go to the gym.
Okay.
My gym routine is about 2 hours, 2.5 hours if the socializing happens.
Right.
It happens. In our gym, it happens.
Definitely.
And then come home. My post-workout meal, which is the same thing every day. It's the Greek yogurt shake that I talked about. So breakfast and my post-workout's always the same.
Okay.
And then I just prep up food, or I have prep food because I typically go to work.
Okay.
And bring my food with me. I eat at noon.
Okay.
And then I'll eat again at about 2:30.
Okay.
And
mealtime, right?
yeah. And then I go home and I do dinner pretty much about 6 o'clock.
Okay.
That's my last meal. Like right now with the cutting, that's my last
so
meal of the day.
3 meals a day.
Oh no! So there's the
meals,
breakfast. There's the shake.
Yeah.
Lunch. There's like lunch and second lunch, and then dinner. So I guess that's 5.
5 meals,
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I do music until I go to bed, and then I do
kind of unwind.
Yeah, I play guitar and stuff, and so I do that till 9 o'clock every day until I go to bed. I drink a gallon of water every day. And daily reading, daily 10 pages of self-improvement reading. That's like bare minimum requirement.
Make sure you're okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that is my day in and day out routine. Like, I mean, I stick to it.
Pretty solid.
Yeah.
Take a short break real quick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run to the bathroom.
All right, guys. So we are back. Had to make that bathroom run. Staying hydrated, right? So microphone died, so I apologize if there's any issues with the audio. How's it look? Is everything's in front? All right, cool. All right. So next question is: are there any new activities or hobbies that you've taken up since transforming your health?
Music,
Yeah.
the guitar,
the yoga, the DDPY yoga that I do. I would say that's
the 2 new ones.
Those are the 2 new ones. Yeah.
Okay.
And the guitar definitely, that was 100% because of the gym. Like because I was like, all I gotta do is take this mentality and apply it to this thing. And so I would say that to anybody, just anything that you want to do in life, if you think you can or if you think you can't, you're right both times. Like
it's the power of belief, man.
Yeah.
I was actually listening to one of those motivational videos. I don't remember who said it. It was like a specific quote where it is like, the person that says that they can't and the person that says that they can are both right.
Yeah.
Because if you believe that you can't, you can. If you
Yeah.
believe that you can do anything in this fucking world.
And I also, circling back to Tom Platz, like, multiple interviews he has said, like, if I had to do this life all over again, I'd be a golfer instead of a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, what the fuck? And he's just like, I had 0 talent at bodybuilding.
Right.
He's like, I have 0 talent at golf, so
what's the difference?
why not just go? Yeah, why just? He's like, if I just woke up and I was doing it all over, I'd go be the best golfer in the world. And I was just, that really hit me hard.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, oh, cool, I get to decide. Well, I want to play guitar, and so I went and bought a guitar, and I knew nothing about it.
Now you are here playing pretty sick riffs, dude.
I've had teachers that have been like, you're gonna be better than me, like,
yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I know, and not to be rude or sound so, but cocky, but it's just like, yeah, well, you're just a stepping stone for me. Like,
I have that same mentality. It's like, like when circling back to that first gym that I started going to, I was getting training from that off camera. We just talked a little bit about that, the guy that was at the gym.
Yeah.
He battles with his own stuff. I was looking up to him at that time because he was sober. And I was like, I want to be like this guy. And then I started getting moved on a little more, and I'm like, okay, this is a stepping stone. I need to learn what I can from him and keep it moving. It's not cockiness at all, man. It's just realizing what you need in your life and what you don't need in your life. So, like, again, I don't think that you should feel guilty for saying shit like that.
I don't.
Yeah. Or even thinking.
But you know what? You're right. I should probably stop saying that, because I do have a tendency to be in defense of myself. Like, I'm gonna sound cocky.
No, fuck that.
But like,
be cocky.
Yeah. I'll outplay you, and if you think you're better than me now, you won't be.
Yeah.
Like,
if you're better than me right now, just give me a month.
Just watch.
No, yeah, be cocky. I think that's how you need to enjoy your life. If that's who you are, then be who you are. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with being confident in yourself.
I think that's a good piece of advice.
If you as long as you're not putting others down, that's when you become an asshole. But if you feel like you're cocky, dude, be cocky.
No, I like with that, I always want to lift everybody up.
Fuck yeah.
With things and stuff.
Yeah.
I also want to be better than you.
Yeah, but that's that healthy competition again, like circling back. Like,
I think a good way to think is watch The Last Dance with Michael Jordan, right? Where it's just like, hey, man, I think he's right. Like, take that shit personally. Yeah.
Yeah, as you should. It's like, if that's your fire, bro, dude, pour gasoline on it. Yeah. Let's keep it going. Let's see how big we can get that.
Yeah.
So, all right. Next thing is, what's been the most rewarding part of this journey to you?
The friends.
Yeah. I can see that.
And I really realized that in the last couple of weeks. Like, that's kind of like a new one, the new thing for me. But the people I've met along the way, the relationships that you and me right now. Yeah. And that came legit. Patrick was killing it on, was it incline or flat bench? Were you flat dumbbells that
incline
day?
Press.
You were incline.
Yeah, incline press with the
and
90s.
I was like kind of eyeing you. I was getting ready for my and I'd seen you in the gym just as you saw me and stuff, and it's just, and I was like, he's by himself, and I was just like, I'm like, if I just give him just a little bit, I know I could get 2 or 3 more out of him. Yeah. And I do that with everybody.
Fuck yeah.
And I was just like, I'm not letting, because I saw you come back down. I'm like, come, like, we're getting that, and now we're here. Now we're friends, and we've been talking and stuff. And like, I've had a lot of that. Yeah. Like, I mean, a ton of that.
Yeah.
just those like short little conversations. You're like, oh, because like for me when I first started going to the gym, I was like intimidated.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this dude's in better shape than me.
Well, that's where the home gym thing came from. I didn't feel like I belonged.
Right.
And it feels good to be part of the community with it. I see people, I mean, it's because of the town we live in, right? But like, do you know how many people I see around town from the gym that are like, hey, what's up, man? Like, and it's just like, holy shit, like, and I've developed amazing relationships with people in the gym, and it's the one place that we all can go.
Yeah.
No matter what your political affiliation is, your religious beliefs, your whatever, where we can all come from a different walk of life and we can celebrate getting better at something together.
The community.
Yeah. And like,
it doesn't matter who you are, like let's go do this shit. Let's do this hard shit at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Have our difference in beliefs and shake hands and be like, all right, cool. Great job today. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, man. Like by far, I posted a thing to my story. It did the same thing, like maybe the gains that we got were the friends made along the way.
I would agree with that.
And I posted that this last week.
Yeah.
And I get a message from my first weightlifting partner when I was 13 fucking years old that I had in high school. His name's Brendan Odell. Okay. He's a doctor now. He's
cool.
He's a podiatrist, a foot doctor. Still doctor.
Yeah. MD.
Yeah, he's married with a couple kids. Like we still follow each other on Facebook and Instagram and everything like that. Don't talk often. Right. And he sent me like a good heartfelt message, and I think about him all the time. I think about him all the time because he told me I'd never squat 600 pounds.
He said in the video.
Yeah, but to be fair, we were children when I said that, like actual children, and he's like, "You're not gonna do that." But also like he was a good friend from my childhood. And I was like, like that proves my point of this, like the gains along the entire way have been the friendships, right? Because like we have that relationship still because of the iron. Right. You can't take that away.
I'm right there with you, man. Like I've made some pretty solid friends along this way, especially like even through Instagram. Yeah. Just like chatting, like, oh, okay, you did this PR, like, dude, that's something crazy. And it's always gonna be the same thing where someone's like, oh, well, I've done this before. You know what I mean? But I think that the community, the sense of community, the sense of positivity that like you're gonna be able to help somebody push themselves or motivate somebody to do better it's unmatched, bro. Like I've never experienced this before in my life.
Like I said, like I train with CT and stuff, and I can text him and he'll text me back, right? Like, I talked with him about, I recently lost my dog, and I was sad, and I texted him and stuff, and like, gave me some comfort and give me some wisdom and stuff like that. Like, what other field of thing can you do where you can develop these relationships like that, right? Yeah. Where you have like someone that's like YouTube famous and stuff like that, but like we've said, like we all piss and shit, like we're all the same person, and like he's just a man,
not putting people
and
on
stuff.
A pedestal.
Yeah. And but that's only come from lifting.
Yeah.
Right?
The love of hearing those iron clang together, man.
Yeah. Addicting.
That shit is addicting.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the next question. What advice would you give to somebody that's at the start of their weight loss journey?
Start right where you're at and figure it out along the way. Yeah. You're gonna mess up. Yeah. And that doesn't say anything negative about you that you're going to mess up. Just don't quit. Yeah. Start and don't quit. Yes. And understand that it's going to be a process, and fall in love with the process.
It's about the journey, not the end goal. If you have an end goal and you reach that end goal, you're just going to feel incomplete.
What you just said was the hardest lesson that I've had to learn. And once I started learning it, I became a much happier and wiser man. Yeah.
You're open to interpretation, you're open to hear more, you're open to just like, okay, if I just stick to what I'm doing, then I know that everything that I have today will just be what I need.
Yeah.
And then if I need more tomorrow, then it'll be there.
Yeah.
So I'm there with you, man. It's, you know, like, I think we as humans, we tend to want to have that end goal just because it's like, oh, I want to go. And I think it's great to set goals.
Well, we have prime delivery, right? It's instant gratification society, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But all the best things that you want in the world are going to take time.
Anything worthwhile is going to take time to get.
Yeah.
Because if it was easy, then everybody would fucking have it.
Otherwise, a baby would be born in a day.
as
we got one cooking in the oven right now.
We're 3 months away. I want him here now. No, that's a great thing. I try to motivate people with that every day. It's just like, I don't know the right diet. I don't know the right training. I don't know the right. Just fucking do it. Go on YouTube, learn as you go.
Yeah.
Go in the gym, do a full body circuit 3 days a week.
Yeah.
Eat in a calorie deficit. Eat food that you like to eat. If you like to eat fucking McDonald's, eat one meal a day at McDonald's.
I wanna harp on that for just a second. I know it's a little, but I truly started by eating less McDonald's.
And that's a great start.
Like, the 20-piece chicken nugget became a 10-piece chicken nugget. The double quarter pounder became just the double stack, and that triple cheeseburger also became a double stack.
Yeah.
I lost my first 30 pounds doing that.
Yeah. That's a difference in calories.
Yeah, because it's like, well, you were eating this much, and now you're eating this much, and body responds to that.
Yeah.
And like, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to take it like that.
Yeah. And for me, like, what I'm learning recently too is like, again, like I was never as heavy as you, but like being obese, dude, it's like being where I'm at now. I'm like, okay, great, but like in my head, I'm like, sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought. In my head, I'm just like trying to relearn that process. Of, like, you don't have to start as trying to be the most shredded man in the world. If your goal is to lose weight, then lose weight.
Yeah.
You don't have to go in there with the mindset of like, I want to be fucking Ronnie Coleman. You don't have to do that. You can just start small, eat less of what you're already eating, and aim for that, you know, whatever your goal is.
And break down that goal.
Right.
I mean, you want to make $5,000 a month at something.
Yeah.
That sounds hard. Or like a lot. That's $166 a day.
Not that much.
That now doesn't sound so hard, does it? You know, like, and that's why, like, we talked about, like, you know, lose 2 pounds a week, lose a pound a week.
Yeah, lose half a pound.
Yeah.
Any result is a result.
Yeah. A half a pound a week is still going to be 26 pounds of body fat off of your body in a year.
That's substantial.
That is so much.
That's substantial. Just imagine if you replace 26 pounds of body fat with 26 pounds of muscle. Your body composition is going to look
that's steroid results right there. Like, you're going to be miles, light years ahead of yourself.
1,000%. All right. If you could go back in time and give your past self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Well, I guess I'm gonna have to define, like, we have to define this question a little bit. Like, what past self? Are we gonna talk like?
Let's say you, as that hopeful young kid.
Well, I tell him to not quit.
Yeah.
And I tell him to stay away from the drugs that he was. I was on a cycle of orals.
Oh, that's rough.
For 5 months.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your digestion and your fucking heartburn
I fucked up my endocrine system, which probably contributed to weight gain too.
Sure.
And stuff.
Sure.
Because I know for a fact when I was 19, I had a test level of 110. That's so like
low.
It's low.
That's when your test should be at its highest. But I mean, everybody's
yeah. At 19, it should be at the
peak.
You should be peaking, and I would have told him to be consistent, because I was taking drugs and like, I got results in the gym, but like, did I train like I do now or learn things? So I would tell him to like actually take the thing that he wants to do serious and explain what serious means.
Right.
Because that was one of the mistakes that I made. It was like, I talked, but I didn't do action.
Yeah.
So I guess that would be what we would get right down to is take the action.
Make your actions in line with your goals.
Yeah. Start where you are.
Yeah. Again, back to what you just said. Just start.
Just start.
Like I would probably say the same thing, man. Is that like
I was quite lost, especially being a younger child. You know, it's like I grew up in a home of like arguments. My whole family loves to fucking argue.
Yeah.
You know, not to be too personal, but it's just like I didn't know where to begin, and there wasn't much encouragement. You know what I mean? So like the only thing that was constant in my life as a kid was video games. Video games and food.
Okay.
You know, so I would look forward to every fucking meal. I want to eat as much as I can. I thought it was impressive. So for me, going back in time, I'd be like, hey, just be the weird one.
Yeah.
Because like I was, even still, I posted this on my Instagram the other day, is that like I was always afraid of being the weird one. And embrace that shit.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be different, and if you want to do different shit, if you feel like you're more different, you feel like you're better, like again, not to be cocky, but be who you are.
You know, and I think something that's important that everyone should hear is that we're all born unique, but most of us die copies. Just be you.
Yeah.
You know, we all are snowflakes. It's okay. Like, it's okay.
We all cry. We all bleed, man.
We're all different, and that's okay.
Yeah. This one's kind of personal. How do you define success in your journey, and what does it mean to you now?
Oh man. If I break it down into like looking at it from the eagle eye view, I see nothing but success.
Yeah.
I say a lot that I have macro goals, but I live in the micro world.
Okay.
And that's something that I struggle with because like I can get down on myself if the scale goes up a half a pound. And you have to break out of that micro mentality and look at the big picture.
Right.
And so success to me now is big picture things. And also a lot of success for me now is managing the pain that I have from the heavy lifting, which is where that DDPY comes in.
Yeah, I'm sure you have quite a bit of joint pain.
There's some, I've dealt with some injuries and stuff along the way. And being just, I think, heavy, like you're more prone to inflammation and stuff. You know, you eat like shit and stuff. But I think really like break down what you've accomplished and be proud of it.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Look at the long term.
Look at the long term. You know, like if I really talked about it, it's like, well, I was diabetic. I had hypertension. I had hyperlipidemia. I don't have any of those things anymore.
Yeah, you're walking around with the edema in your feet.
Yeah.
Feet ain't swelling up.
Like that's success.
1000%.
Like even though like I'm seeking extreme levels of success ultimately, like that's some serious success. People get put on medications and they never get off of them the rest of their lives.
Yeah. I would agree, man. It's like, you know, we tend to get caught up in the moment and we just, you know, we as humans, we chase stuff.
Yeah.
And we end up wanting more. You know, and I think that's, again, coming back to our addictive personalities.
Yeah.
That's what we live off of.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, looking at a bigger picture sometimes is what keeps us too grounded. Like, you have to be, like, again, looking at the eagle eye, you're like, okay, dude, I was 305 pounds, 420 pounds. And now, dude, look at, like, imagine you looking at yourself as that 420 pound man.
And that I regularly remind myself of like I have to regularly remind myself of like where I was.
Yeah.
To remind myself of like how far I've come. And then I also like on my phone I'll show you like that's me at 10.
That's awesome.
Because I owe him everything.
That's awesome, man. I love it.
You know, like
I love it. That reminder.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
Like
that's going back to like what Chris Bumstead said, like I think it was his 4th Olympia where he had to be that little kid and pat himself on the back and be like, what we have to accomplish.
Yeah.
You know, not putting people on a pedestal, but I think that mindset is something that can be used for everybody.
I agree.
Be a little kid, look at yourself now and be proud of what you've done.
Yeah.
Let me change the battery real quick because I see that it's getting low. Sorry, bro.
You're good.
All right. We're getting kind of close to the end of these questions.
So we kind of outlined this. Let's go to question 33. Do you have new fitness or health goals that you're working towards now? You kind of outlined that.
No, but there's things that I haven't quite got into. So I came here to bodybuild.
Okay.
Because there's the transformation divisions now, which is really what I'm aiming at.
Yeah.
So I want to do one this next year. And that's what I'm pushing towards and everything. And I wanted to do it all myself, just because I've done everything myself.
Yeah.
And so that's one immediate goal in this next year of my life that I'm focusing on.
Okay.
I want to step on the platform to compete in powerlifting.
Okay.
Because I had great numbers. Since we're talking about them, so like my best deadlift was 505. I want to say that it was.
Pretty fucking good.
Then the squat we know was the 602, and then the 355 bench. And even though we don't count overhead press as a power lift, it's my favorite lift. And I've done 245 on a strict.
Seated or standing?
Strict standing overhead press.
It's fucking solid.
And so my goal is to get every one of those numbers back, but at 225 pounds.
Okay.
I want that very badly.
Yeah.
Because like that guy that had that existential crisis about all that, I am doing it for him because what he really wanted was to be smaller and to do those things.
So you're gonna prove it to
So I'm gonna. That's what I want to do.
I love that. Bro. I love that.
Then with that DDPY thing, that's by Diamond Dallas Page, the WWE wrestler.
Okay.
It's his yoga program that he came up with to heal his own back when he threw out his back.
Okay.
And he's got like a whole community and stuff, and why I'm doing it is because I would like to also like show like, hey, I've accomplished this transformation using this as well. And my goal is to be at his 2025 Christmas party. He's a huge Christmas guy.
Okay.
And he has people from the community like that, like their champions and stuff at those. I want to be at the 2025 Christmas party, and I want to play Christmas songs on my guitar at his Christmas party.
That's an awesome goal,
and
man.
so like those are my fitness goals. And then I guess there's one more. Zach and I want to, by the end of 2025, be in jiu-jitsu together.
Okay, that's cool.
Which I only dread because I know I'm going to be up against him all the time.
Yeah.
And we've already established the cocky and all that, but my training partner I've turned into a monster.
Yeah.
And he outsizes me by 4 inches.
Dude.
So like I know he's so excited because he's just like, it's going to be the one thing that we finally do where you're not better than me at it, that we're going to be starting off on equal ground. And I'm like, God damn it, this is going to suck. I'm always going to be against you.
Right. Dude, I think those are some solid goals though, man. Like, I just had 2 friends actually that competed in the Houston transformation class, the Summer Shredder.
Yeah, that's what I want to do, the Summer Shredder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, I was looking at that class, I'm like, this is fucking awesome.
Dude, that stuff is, and it's grown.
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't a place for guys like me. I guess swinging back a little bit, but like, though I love body. I was convinced when I was 17 I was going to be Mr. Olympia.
I love it, bro.
Like,
I love it. I love it.
And my life took different directions and everything, but there's a place for me to do this now, right? And I want to do it and then help other people.
Yeah.
Right, like and not only that, but to achieve like that dream for myself.
Right.
Like, it doesn't have to be the Mr. Olympia. It could be that thing can be my Mr. Olympia.
Right.
And not only that, but that's a seriously competitive division.
100%.
And I really like that.
100%.
Like the guy that won, I follow him, and dude's nuts.
I believe he's from Ontario, California, right?
I think
the
so.
Guy with the beard.
Yeah, like I was like, dude, like
he went on a strict regimen. Dude.
Yeah, he did, but still, like it was like, man, that was like, it's inspiring. Yeah. Like it's like, and so that's where the aim is.
I love it, man. I hope to be there for your first show too. Man,
I agree. That would be
awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. So how do you stay motivated to maintain the progress that you have?
I'm not.
I say this all the time, is fuck your motivation.
Yeah, we train at the same gym, but half of my clothes say discipline over motivation.
Right.
Sometimes motivation comes, and I'll quote Goggins again, like, you need to have the discipline when you have the motivation. Great, it's fucking kindle into the fire. But otherwise, like, it's discipline day in and day out, because I have to remind myself of my goals daily.
Right.
Like when I get up at that 4:20 in the morning, I look at myself in the mirror and I talk to myself. Like Mike and I have a conversation.
Yeah. Make sure you are who you need to be for that day. Yeah.
And reminding myself, like, hey, like, we've come this far, but we still got work to do.
Yeah.
And we got to go do that shit today, and we got to go take this day on as hard as we've taken on the 100 days before this.
I didn't go over this myself, but I do the same things, man. Like, I wake up and you have to have that conversation with yourself.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're never gonna get out of bed.
Otherwise, I'm gonna go eat some McDonald's, man.
Yeah. You're gonna this In-N-Out, dude.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. That In-N-Out next.
I'm gonna go get some pizza.
Forever. I've been a fast food junkie my whole life.
Yeah.
I still. There's some great people I've met at the gym. They're like, oh, but your taste buds will change, and I'm like, nah, still like Big Macs. You're crazy. And I live in between a really good Burger King and an In-N-Out.
And you got Chick-fil-A.
And then the Well, you know what? I haven't had that in a minute, because like the last time I had it, I got the one of those times I missed the gym. Yeah, it was Chick-fil-A. I haven't had it since then, so like I can write Chick-fil-A off, but I'm stuck between that In-N-Out and that Burger King, man.
Yeah.
And Whoppers are good too.
Walking past it, you smell it, you're just.
Oh, I love the smell of burgers. Yeah.
I get you, Dad. I get you. But those internal conversations are who we remind ourselves of who we are.
100%.
It's like going back to what we said. Like I try to look at myself as that 305-pound man, or that young kid that was looking at Jay Cutler and Ronnie Coleman posters on my wall. Like, fuck, I want to do that. And now I look at myself in the mirror and like, you are doing that.
You are doing that. You are doing that.
I think little kid you would be proud of what you have done, and I think little kid me would also be proud of
I think so too.
So fuck your motivation.
Yeah, fuck your motivation.
Do what the hell you need to do.
Yeah. Now, if you got motivation, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you, but it's gonna go away.
Yeah, motivation is there for me maybe a day or 2 days out of the week.
Yeah.
Because shit gets hard, bro.
It does.
Trying to start your own business, be a competitive bodybuilding, preparing for a kid. Like, I'm just listing what I'm doing.
I mean, I'm starting my own business back up. I have a job. I got the music.
Yeah.
I would like a family.
Yeah.
Like,
and you're working towards that.
Yeah, and it's just like, man, this shit's a lot.
Yeah.
And that's why I bring up, when I talked about my routines, like I do all that stuff and then bed and boom, get it back up and do it again. Because
stay regimented.
You have to.
Yeah. As soon as you break that, it's a reverse cycle.
Yeah.
And nobody wants that, man.
No.
You have to win those battles with yourself every day. It's not going to be easy.
Hunter Labrada, his big saying is win the day.
Yeah.
It's a big one to me because that breaks the goals back down, right? Where it's just like, hey, yeah, we have to have that eagle eye view, we have to have this point of view and everything, but also like just win today. That's all you got. The only thing that the past is gone, the future is hypothetical.
Yeah.
You have right now.
Yeah. I would agree, man. It's good to look at your past with positive mindset, and if you start stressing about your plan and everything's not going to plan, just remember that you're here right now.
Yeah.
Right now is where you need to live. As soon as you start stressing about the future, just think about right now.
Yeah.
And that's all you need to do. Just calm your stress down, focus on your goals, fuck your motivation, do what you need to do.
100%.
All right. So what do you hope to inspire in others by sharing your story?
That you can do anything.
I love it.
Like,
I
want to say, like, oh, I want to inspire people to lose, which I do.
Yeah.
And I have with friends and stuff like that. But I really want to stress that you can do fucking anything, whatever it is, whatever your impossible is. I'll quote a little bit of Tom Platz, a little bit of CT Fletcher. Like CT says, like, you know, everyone says it's impossible until some crazy motherfucker comes along and does that shit.
Yeah.
And Tom says, you know, find your impossible thing.
Yeah.
If y'all can't tell, I really mean it when I say I listen to this shit day in and day out, like it's in my ear.
I love Tom Platz.
And yeah, and like find your impossible thing, and that's why music seemed impossible.
Yeah.
It seemed like you can't do, like, I had that self-talk of you can't. Then the voice, the crazy voice in me is just like, but
what if?
But what if?
Yeah, it's that what if.
Yeah, and it's just like,
yeah.
I like that what if.
Yeah.
You can do anything.
Yeah.
It's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
No one's going to do it for you. And also, no one's going to come along and save your ass either. Like, it's you.
Yeah. You have to do that shit.
Yeah.
I love that, man. I love that. If someone listening is feeling hopeless about their weight, what would you say to them right now?
It's not hopeless.
Yeah.
We've talked about losing a half a pound.
Right.
We've talked about losing a pound. We've talked about losing 2 pounds. It's not hopeless, but you are going to have to put in the work. You're going to have to accept that it took time for you to get to where you're at. And you're going to have to accept that it's going to take time for you to get away from where you're at.
Right.
Accepting yourself for who you are is a really powerful thing. And accepting that nothing is permanent. Like, nothing in the world has ever been permanent.
Yeah.
And the greatest empires in the world have fallen and turned to dust.
Yeah.
We all turn back to dust.
Yep. Where we came from.
Yeah. So it's not hope. I understand feeling hopeless, but I'm telling you that it's not hopeless.
It gets hard, but
Yeah.
it also gets easier, and they're gonna have days where it's like,
And then it'll get hard again.
Yeah. Mountains have peaks that get taller.
Yeah.
You
or
get over one-
or you get to crawl over one peak and you're like, I made it, and then you're like, oh shit, it was blocking the bigger peak.
And there's double the peak.
Yeah.
ahead, you know? It's not gonna be easy, but staying consistent, being who you are, and remembering that it's about living today. Like you get exactly what you just said, man. I think that's awesome. All right, so getting to the end of this, what's your favorite healthy meal, or what's your favorite snack right now?
So my favorite thing's got to be my breakfast.
I would agree,
Like
too.
we talked about, like that big breakfast thing. Like
That sounds fire.
when I get on the maintenance, man,
Yeah.
that breakfast turns into like 4 eggs and some potatoes that I cook up.
Yeah.
I'll kill a 1,200 calorie breakfast, no problem.
Dude, I'm right there with you.
I think I regularly have breakfast for dinner.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to realize, I'm like, oh, so those days I'm really happy when I have breakfast twice.
Yeah.
I'm luckily one of those people that isn't a hyper responder to the cholesterol and eggs.
Okay.
So like I seem to be able to eat a lot of eggs.
Yeah.
And then like healthy snack. Popcorn is crazy.
You can have unbuttered popcorn. It's
Yeah.
like 90 calories for a whole bowl.
Yeah, and if you want some butter, get some. I can't believe it's not light butter, and like that's only like 4 grams of fat per serving as opposed to 14.
Yeah. Or you could be super weird about it. Put pan butter spray on
Yeah,
it.
there's all kinds of little hacks, right? And like popcorn, as far as like on the like macro-friendly snack at the high volume, that's a good one.
I love it. I love it.
And and you're getting your fiber.
Yeah.
You are getting your
corn is
fiber.
Very fibrous.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would agree, man. I'm right there with you. Like my favorite meal of the day is definitely my breakfast.
Yeah.
Kodiak pancakes every day.
Oh, I love that. I love
that. It's my slight addiction right now. We went to Costco and I bought 3 of those big ass boxes. It should last me a month. 200 grams of those every morning, bro. I love it.
Yeah,
love
that's great.
All right. It's kind of weird. What, cardio or weights? What do you like better?
When I get into the cardio mode, I really do like cardio.
I do too.
Like, it's a meditative thing.
Yeah.
My current regimen doesn't include direct cardio because this DDPY I'm doing is
Calorie burning.
it's cardio.
Yeah.
When my heart rate's 145 and I'm twisted on the ground and kissing my own ass, it's cardio. I'm breathing just as heavy as I am during Pilates or on the elliptical.
Right.
That's set, but it's always the answer to that's definitely going to be weights.
For sure.
It's 100% weights.
There's a
but
religious experience that come out of that.
there's a whole another religious experience out of that one, but there's also more than I love going on walks.
Okay.
Like I talked about like the 5 mile walk thing that I was doing for a minute after being a medic.
Right.
That was therapy, and I have this like long-term dream of walking like some of the longest routes in the world.
Okay.
And part of that is because I couldn't walk very far. Right? Like it hurt to walk to the bathroom, man.
Your calves were getting the pump.
Yeah. and like yeah, my calves would get the pump, and I still didn't get the big ass calves like some of the big guys end up with.
Fucking great calves, man.
All right.
I say that same thing, man. It's like I don't get the good calves, and I was training calves with somebody today, and they're like, "Dude, look at your fucking calves." I was like,
my biceps are bigger.
Yeah, right.
Like, why are they big? Why are they still bigger than my damn calves?
What's going on here?
These things.
No, I'm right there with you.
But like, because I couldn't walk,
Yeah.
and like that hurt. I remember, and I didn't ever talked about this in this, but like Pokemon Go also kind of affected me with weight loss.
She loves. My wife's just off camera.
Yeah.
She loves Pokemon Go.
And that played in. That was the same timing of my brother saying that stuff that he said, because he was super into Pokemon Go too, and Pokemon Go started the kind of walking thing.
Yeah.
And then
put the Pokestops.
Yeah, you're walking to the Pokestops in the gym. You're trying to get a Dratini, but then like I was sad because I couldn't walk far, and so like. I think that's the thing that I'm the most proud of my body of now, more than anything. Like, I guess we're swinging back to that question, but like, you know, I hike Runyon Canyon. I live right next to it and stuff, and like, I'm so proud of my body for being able to like
to do that.
Like, we have as humans the evolutionary advantage of walking upright, and we, more than any other animal on the planet, has this like crazy endurance to walk insane distances, like
right,
and
push yourself through that.
And not having been able to do that, and being at a point where I can do that, I'll never take for granted.
Yeah. Runyon Canyon, if you guys don't know, is quite the fucking incline. So to do that.
Yeah,
like awesome.
Like I have a resting heart rate in the 60s.
That's good.
That fucking canyon will get me up to 160 beats a minute, and some of it's like inclines that it has.
Yeah.
And I love that shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's walking.
Yeah, dude. That's
hiking,
that's
whatever,
fucking
but like,
awesome.
Like, so like I love. I will never take for granted that more than any cool lift that I've done, or how my body changes, or
just being able to move.
Yeah,
I get you. That's awesome. What's one piece of gym equipment that you can't live without?
Squat rack.
You love the squats, huh?
Yeah.
I would say, for me, is a heavy set of dumbbells.
That's fair.
I love dumbbells. Bro,
Yeah,
I've always been a chest guy.
You know, with that Body Beast thing that we did, it was a dumbbell-oriented workout, so I love dumbbell training. But like, I've been somewhat gifted on the squat through my life.
I'll say so.
And
600-pound squat is not easy.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing comparison robbing joy, because I'm immediately thinking about people that do 1,000 pounds and stuff like that. So let's take this step back and eagle eye this. I've been gifted on the squat through my life.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah. I
love it so much.
Yeah.
Also, I love that people avoid it. I love that people won't do it.
Yeah. Because it's fucking hard, and it makes that only you can do that shit.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cheat meal. What's your go-to?
Either the McDonald's
Okay.
or the In-N-Out.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
but man, I really don't do cheat meals anymore. Like, it's been a hot minute since, like, if I do, like I've gone to McDonald's a time or two, but it's like, all right, I have 1,500 calories in my day, so I may not count the macros that day, but for dinner I have a 1,500 calorie
and that's super
meal
easy
for
to do.
McDonald's, and it really is. Like, you're like, oh, I got a double quarter pounder. You know, a double quarter pounder, a 10-piece nugget, and a fry is about 1,500 calories. That's a nice big McDonald's
And
meal.
you get that
And
satisfaction.
You do.
Yeah.
You do. And for whatever reason, I always end up lighter on the scale the next day.
It's probably that relaxation that comes from.
I think so.
think
Like,
there's something
you know,
about
maybe
that.
like your cortisol levels come down.
Yeah, so your body's
Or
like,
something,
okay,
and your
you
body's
relaxed
just like,
today.
yeah, like, because I'm always on. Like, I train 6 days a week. I do yoga before I even train
Yeah.
and stuff. So like,
You and I are similar on that aspect. Like, I go to Gold's every morning to do my 30 minutes fasted cardio.
Yeah.
Then I come back, eat, and then go train.
yeah, like it's the same process, right? You're
Yeah.
just like, I have to.
I have to do this.
Yeah.
You know? I'm right there with you. Though. I don't know. Last cheat meal I had was after my bodybuilding show, and I went crazy. And I was like, I don't like this.
Yeah, like, I guess, like, if we were real, you know, I've really developed I've always loved Chinese food, but but I think, I don't know what it's been since I've lost weight and stuff. Like, it's always like, when I'm like, oh, let's have a cheat, I'm like, I want a big sweet and sour chicken, like, and then I want egg rolls, and I want a little bit of whatever you're having.
And then you eat it, and it's like,
Yeah.
The day after, you're like,
yeah. I think that's what's happened to me a lot, is I've grown past it a little bit.
You get those cravings, and then you remember why you don't want to eat it anymore.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Biggest non-scale victory.
I would say probably like fitting into more regular people clothes and looking good in them.
Yeah.
Cause shit, I do.
Showing out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and other people notice now, and I like that.
Dude, when I saw your picture, I couldn't believe that was seeing you in the gym. Like, you looked like you've lost weight for sure.
Yeah.
But then I seen your picture on Instagram, I was like, that is not him. What the fuck? Like, I had to go and look at your face now, and I was like, what the fuck, dude? There's no way.
That's so funny, because like, I post that shit and no one says anything.
Yeah.
And it's fine. I'm not posting it. It's for me.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, a lot of people don't pay too much attention to it until, like, I mean, someone, if I show them, if I pull out my phone, that's not you, and I'm like, fine, open the photo album. There's like 180 pictures of me in there, like, slowly losing weight.
Yeah. I think that was that's hard to believe, dude. You know, I mean, it's not hard to believe. I don't mean to say it like that.
It is hard to believe, because like,
it's a transformation.
but it's also hard to believe because you know me now.
Yeah.
You know me as like the guy that trains hard in the gym. You know that, like, I take it serious, and you know that we're always there.
Yeah.
And then you look at that picture and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, how
did that happen?
Yeah, and that's basically what you immediately were like, we need to talk.
Yeah, like, what the fuck? Yeah, I saw your picture and I was like, dude, I have to come and like sit down and talk to you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So getting into this wrap up is like, what is one thing that you want people to take away from your story?
You can do anything.
I love it.
Like,
I love it.
Like, you can do whatever it is. Like, you could be sitting here and like, yeah, I want to lose weight. Like, 100% you could do that. Like, we all can. It really is calories in, calories out. I started off just by cutting out, like, having my McDonald's calories, and I lost a significant amount of weight, like almost 10% of my body weight.
Yeah.
That's life-changing for people.
Doing a donut-only diet.
Yeah.
As long as you're under maintenance calories, you're gonna lose weight.
And not only that, we have meta-analysis studies that show that even, like, there's the guy that did the, there's a guy that did at McDonald's eating. He dieted, lost 60 pounds. He did like a news run a few years ago on like different news syndicates.
Okay.
And He lost 60 pounds eating McDonald's, and he did blood work before, during, and after. And every single biomarker went into normal ranges when he lost all the weight.
Oh shit.
And why does that happen? Because we've proven time and time again that 90% of the changes in health comes from actually losing the weight.
I think that the biggest thing that people should learn is that, again, like if you're not going for how your body looks, if you just want to lose weight, the only difference that's going to come from the type of food that you eat, being in, you know, under maintenance calories, is going to be your body composition.
Yeah.
If you want to lose weight and not necessarily care about putting on muscle mass, eat whatever the fuck you want, just be in under maintenance.
When you get into that, now we got to get into the protein, because there is a thing with body composition and having enough protein, and then your micronutrients and everything. But that's back to the micro view.
Yeah.
You know, if we're eagle-eye viewing this, Weight Watchers is the most successful long-term weight loss program in the history of our country.
And they go, I've never known Weight Watchers, but it's based off of points, right?
It's based off of points, but their point system is just simplifying calorie restriction.
Right. So they have like food groups with point values.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And then you might have 35 points.
Right.
And I think when I looked into it, like in a deeper look, it's like a point can, I don't know, it varies. Like it could be 100 calories to 75 calories per point, the way it works and stuff like that. But it's a calorie restriction. It's calorie control.
Like the easy, simplifying calorie control.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so I'll put your link in here, obviously, but where can people connect with you to follow your journey?
Really just on my Instagram, which is the mmschmidt06, or at the mm. Yeah, you know, y'all know how it goes.
The link will be in the description, guys. Yeah. You guys should definitely message. We've had long conversations. Already.
And I love talking about this stuff, if you can't tell.
Definitely. So, last thing, any final words or encouragement from the audience?
I know I keep stressing it, but I can't stress enough that you truly can do anything you want.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe I stress on that a lot because I've been changing my life so dramatically. Yeah. And beyond the gym, like the music has been dramatic, a dramatic change in my life. And it's Tom Platz. Yeah. If you believe this energy works, it does. If you believe this energy doesn't work, it doesn't.
The power of manifestation is real, guys.
Yeah.
You know, if you believe that you can't do anything, you believe you're predisposed to having diabetes because your family has diabetes, you're going to be exactly that.
Yeah.
If you believe that you're going to be different, you believe that you're the best at something, fucking do it.
Yep.
That belief is what's going to carry you on. I think that your message with that is spot on. Well, other than that, dude, I think that this was an awesome conversation.
I think this was an awesome conversation.
I think we need to do this shit again.
Yeah, yeah. We'll get Zach here.
Yeah,
and stuff
definitely.
Too.
Maybe go,
because I think he's got some great perspective, seeing it from the other side. And
100%.
And you know, I also just want to hear from him how he's learned and stuff, because I'm the slightly more dominant personality in our relationship, and there's been a lot of like, you're gonna do this because I fucking said so,
right?
And then he's just gotten big.
Yeah, right.
Not to say that he doesn't know his own shit, because the man knows his shit.
For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we need to do. We definitely got to get Zach in here.
Absolutely.
And awesome conversation, bro.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you guys watching. I'm gonna put Mike's link down below, but Mike is an awesome dude. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, appreciate you, Patrick.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
All right. Dude, that was awesome, man.